Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement. We are awake, we are awake, we are not alone. We are striving for more. So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
It's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Happy Friday, my friend. Josh?
I'm here. Happy Friday, my friends. TGIF. Welcome to Have No Sphere. Right here on the Iron Rail Media YouTube channel. And it is your usual cast of characters. Let's jump right in and say hello. We'll start off ladies first. The one who is protected by the wolves. She's got a channel here on YouTube, Aisling717. You might know her as Cami Knodel. Cami Knodel, how you doing, Miss Cami? Been a while. Feels like, anyway.
Feels like it. It's been a really long and a really, really short week at the same time. It's good to be here. I am protected by wolves, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful my billboard didn't get taken down.
Not for lack of trying.
Not for lack of trying, but it's good to be here tonight.
People out there, vandals out there trying to tear down other people's billboards.
Liz, I think she's still thinking about it. Zack said that there's no, maybe we can just make it that my billboard explodes.
Maybe we'll make it rotating. If you find the one that explodes, you have to try them all. But if you find the one that explodes, find some experience points.
And it's not fair because I have no problem with exploding a billboard. I like it. I like it just as much. Well, actually, not quite as much as exploding the globe. And I like blowing up the computers in the game. But it's not fair, Liz. You have a beautiful garden, and I make jokes. I can't retaliate because the garden is beautiful, and it doesn't feel. It's like watching you not be able to hurt the wolves. I'm not going to be able to hurt your flowers. But I would like to get in. I have to say, because they didn't move on from me, I threw it back at you, Josh, and you didn't run with it. I said it was great to be here, but
no, I almost ran with it.
Yeah, I have to say, Liz, I'm going to keep going now. I'm not going to shut up, but we'll give it back in a minute. It was so fun. I know she didn't know, but we were watching Liz play Fortnite and learn Fortnite before the show, and I just got lost in time and lost to the beauty of Liz. I loved it. She was like nervous because she's a beginner, but you have to understand there are beginners out there. And instead of the guys racing through it and giving you the motion sickness, she was like wondering what things were, looking around, checking things out. She hit all the targets that like I thought she'd be hit, like the computer screens that she avoided the monsters and that because they're like wolves and pigs and things like that. I get it. You run, stay away from them, put them out of the way, but blow up the technology. But it was fun because, again, from a learning standpoint, I got to see the game more than I've ever seen it in all the hours of watching on the walkthrough. It was magical. I was lost in it. It scary? Oh, it's so good. And even again, learning how to do things like go backwards and hitting the buttons. I had this wonderful thing of it, Liz, too, that Zack was doing commentary and encouraging you on the way. I threw out some blow up the globe or get that, but he was like, grab the little medic bag and no, Liz, you need to do this and back with the button is here. And so I was picking up, you didn't get to hear it, but I was picking up tips even going there and learning a lot about how it works. So, yeah, they are annoying running around too fast. I missed it all, but I got to see it all. And I want to thank you because I really, really enjoyed it. I wanted to pretty much blow off the show tonight and keep on watching Liz play. And Liz, I was hoping you'd be brave and just do it for the show because it was that good. But we're going to let other people talk now. It's great to be here.
Well, it really was that good. And I was going to get into it a little bit earlier too, but even this morning, I was dragging ass. I've just been tired all day long. And even coming into the show, I'm like, I've just got no energy. But spending 15, 20 minutes watching Liz play sure did a whole lot to brighten my mood and raise my energy levels. It's much appreciated. That was excellent. And she's already better than I am. There's that. So with that, we'll say hello to Mr. Zachary Zabala. He's got a little channel here on YouTube called Good Times for All. We'll let you figure out how the hell to spell that. Zach, how are you doing?
Hey, Josh. Yeah, not too shabby. That was awesome. That made my day. Again, yeah, me too. I even got a nap in. If we had to do some running early, or no, as soon as I got up, we had to do some running. So I got in a nap, but I don't even really remember driving to the bank or what I was wearing. Then I came home and got a shower and all that kind of good stuff, and then had to go take care of some cats, and then went to the grocery store. And yeah, it's all kind of like a blur. I was dragging ass the whole time, just like never really woke up. But yeah, after seeing Liz and just laughing so hard, and I mean, she was laughing too. Like, I got to actually talk to her after she got done playing. So it was, oh man, it was fun. It was, yeah, it gave me that oomph. I wish Walter could have seen more of it. I wonder how he's feeling. He's been awful quiet. He's been real quiet.
I'm here.
Okay.
Definitely wish I'd seen your iPad thing. When I finally did. What a man.
You're a little low there, Walter. Seems like.
Oh, I am. I'm back at the Kratom.
Gotcha. I'm like, I don't think some people are hearing everything that you say.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here. I was turned away, closing capsules up. Yeah, it's been one of those days for me. Woke up from my little short, very lacking nap to have no water because Franklin water mains are. Shower for me.
Sucks.
I had to do the same thing.
Valve stem, yep. Put a new one in there.
Well, they tried to.
That is insane, dude, how much you hear that nowadays. When you go to get something fixed or something, nobody has anything in stock anymore. It's crazy.
Rest of the week. Like every guitar I've tried. Which every guitar I own has done that.
Yeah, it took me like over a year.
Right. Right. Right.
You know,
Oh wait.
been to every
Wait,
music shop in, the Chicagoland area almost. Just went everywhere looking for my guitar at all the big, music places. I didn't find anything remotely that even said anything to me until I started going to pawn shops. And then the pawn shops really, it's just like, wow, I saw that same guitar and it was like $300 and here it's $225.
True. Hard to wind up buying and loved and well. I don't mind used guitar. Extra parts at it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I
mine,
hate doing
it was new. Mine was new, but you could tell whoever made it really practiced with that thing or did something with it because, yeah, just the sound that comes out of it. It's not a $250 guitar. That guitar slipped through a crack somewhere. It should have
Right.
been put on this rack over here and got put on this rack and had some crappy knobs put onto it and all the tuner stuff and all that kind of stuff. But the actual sound that comes out of the guitar, it should have had all the really fancy knobs and all that kind of stuff put on it. And it should be more like a $1,000 to $2,000 guitar. Yeah, I just got real lucky.
play it, but
They're
Back
still
home,
saying audio is dropping.
for
Really?
me,
Probably. That'd be my guess.
back at my mic.
I can adjust.
We have been joined.
I did move the mic completely away from it, so I may need to better. Better.
Tis a bit better, yeah. You can,
A little bit.
bump up the.
Understand. But check. Of course, that was Scott this morning.
And check your main audio outs. Mine was turned down to 20% this morning, which is why I was having some of that audio issues. Somehow, my main audio levels from.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It got knocked from 100 to 20.
We have been joined
We have been joined.
I saw
by the
that.
Globe Slayer herself.
Hi.
There's Liz, the Iron Maiden.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. I don't know what the hell's going out, but I hear you.
I hear you good. Thank
Hi,
you for
Cami.
Hi, sweetie. Thank you for playing today. That was so much fun. It was an awful day, and you brightened it.
I haven't had a fit of the giggles like that for a long time. It was
It's
just
great.
energizing. I'm so embarrassed though that I was being watched when I didn't know that, but never mind.
Yeah, but
Well,
you know what?
to
You
my
were.
defense, there was my name up on the screen. Good times for all.
Oh, I saw that.
And the little
Well, yeah.
eye. There was an eyeball there too, letting you know that he was watching you.
Yeah, we'll have to show you all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah, now you know that your friends can jump in and join your game,
Yes, and you're
but
my
it's
friends.
not open to people that don't know you. That's what a private game is. But we'll get you all hooked up with, so people can't join unless you approve it. Okay.
Oh, I definitely would have approved.
Oh, I know, but you would have known.
And you would have been nervous.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been quite the same because it would have been different.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
true.
It was
Could you hear me?
No.
No,
Oh.
oh, that's fine.
We wanted
think I
to. We
I
were,
think I
in fact,
swore a couple of times.
in fact, Zach was saying, I wonder what Liz is saying when you're caught in that room, and I wonder what's coming out of her mouth now. So we were wondering what you were saying.
We were filling in the blanks when you were driving. I can just hear her now.
And where you did the complete rollover flip in the air like it was a gymnastics move going off of the mountain. Did you see that? And you landed perfectly. It was like you stuck your landing.
It's like you were
Now,
just
this was-
crawling up that whole mountain. Like, wow, I can't believe she's actually going vertical. Then she rolls over and still lands on her wheels and drives
But
off.
she did
Like,
it.
it's cool.
I've been watching the gymnastics stuff. I mean, she scored. It had a degree of difficulty. She went up vertical, climbed, and then she did 2 somersaults and a twist, and managed to land it, stick her landing perfectly on all 4, and like hold it, not even wobble. It was. I mean, it was good. It was good. It was a gymnastics maneuver. It had nothing to do with the truck you were in and the mountain and that. But I mean, you landed it. You would have scored if you were in gymnastics. You would have scored.
It was definitely fun.
The guys at Zack and they don't know how you did that, and I'd like them to see trying to do the flips like that and put the twists in it and that. But it's not easy. It looks a lot easier on screen than it is to like throw your body and get that twist and stuff like that. So yeah, you threw that track.
I'm
It's
quite
part of
proud
it.
of
It's your
myself.
affinity
Duff.
for cats. That's what it is. That innate
Yay!
ability.
Oh, it's good to hear you walk now.
Hey, lady, I'm here. I'm here. I have a cat in my keyboard area now, so I'm having to try. I haven't even been able to type to anyone. I know she'll move in a minute, so it's that.
Made
Hi
me
to
think of-
everyone in chat. I didn't get a chance to say hi to, and I can't see the chat now.
Definitely upset I didn't get to see fun, man. We'll get in there. And then, training is part of the fun.
Uh-huh.
Learning how to.
I did it myself
gosh.
this time. I didn't have any grandchildren helping me at all. I managed to work it all out myself this afternoon.
Well, when
That's amazing.
we did that trivia for charity, I made the comment that it's just sort of my lot in life to come in last in competitions, and especially in shooting games like this. I just don't really have the drive to just learn to get good, nor do I have the hand-eye coordination to ever actually get good. So it's just sort of a life blessed with mediocrity. That's just sort of the nature of the game, and I understand that when I play, I'm not very good. And I don't play because I want to rule the roost. I play because I have stress that I relieve by at least attempting to kill other people. But I didn't even know where the fuck I was going with that.
Yeah, it's a good stress reliever. It is.
It is.
It'll come back to me.
And it's one thing to get thirsty and want to try real hard. It's fun. It is good. I don't do that as much on Fortnite as I did on other games in the past. Like, you get me on Halo and it's like a whole different vibe. I feel like an asshole sometimes.
There is no
Alone.
joking around.
Right.
Yeah.
It's strictly real, like, and it's not as fun, So, yeah, it's good to have fun.
That's how I played Call of Duty.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. I always played hardcore, and it was always, no, there is no, maybe I'll get you next time, nice shot. No.
Right. Oh, that dude doesn't have a gun yet. Oh, well.
Yep. You're dead. Sorry. Better luck next time. Yeah. Ruthless. Yeah, this one, Fortnite, not so much. It's, it's fun. I learned at a very young age that getting mad only makes me play worse. When I get frustrated and mad, I learned that when you set it down and walk away for a little bit, come back, when you're not mad, you play better. So I've learned just not to take it so serious anymore like I used to. Like, I used to make people quit playing games because I would just torment them. I'd make them leave the lobby.
Nobody likes a sore winner, Zach.
No, but it was like it was a stupid thing I'd have where we're fine, you know, I won't hit you, you won't hit me, because we were like in a game where you're supposed to be teaming up, but you can still hit each other. So I would go and I'd just do my thing and I'd fight the computer and go through the game. And then as soon as they would attack me, screw the game. That person was the only thing I saw. It was like a bull seeing a red waving flag. And I just nonstop, just death, 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 over and over and over until they would leave. And then I'd go back to playing. I was, just mean. Just a dick. I can't do that stuff no more. That was my Xbox days. I'd have French guys screaming my name, Simon! All pissed off. Early in the morning we'd play.
Well, I've yet to play the video games other than I did play Pong when it came out in the 70s. And I followed it a little bit further, but I had a ping pong table and roller skates and other things too. I like doing things analog, not digital, but I do know bowling. On a bowling league, we had to explain to people that like this is handicap bowling. It really doesn't matter that you suck. It really doesn't matter. It's all right. You can suck at bowling. It's not going to affect anything else in your life or world. This is like chill time. It's supposed to be enjoyment. And you have people that would, I don't know. Again, you do something for enjoyment, dickhead Zack. No, people that take it seriously and they come over and, oh, you need to hold your arm like this and you're not doing this and you're not. And it's like, seriously, it doesn't matter. The thing about handicap leagues is it really doesn't matter if you're suck. They build in for it. And then when you have a great night, you're there. So as much as we sucked and we took it the least serious of any of the teams, we were league champions year after year because we laughed at the people taking it seriously. I like that.
Were you first place or were you like league champions in your own heart?
No, we were first place. It was a Las Vegas league in that, and we were first place. But
now is this like with bumpers or like helmets?
No, this is just stupid bowling. And
well, when you say handicap league, I'm wondering in what way were you? Were you like offered a handicap, like you had bumpers, you like got a little extra boost in your score ahead of other people? You got a handicap?
No, when you score on it, you get extra scoring. It's accounted for it, like in golf for that too, where you get a handicap for your scoring. And so like I had a 140 average, which isn't awful, but it's not good either, not when you're playing with people that take it seriously and they see every opportunity to throw the ball away to improve. But with that 140, I could have a second game at 98 or a 200, you know.
So it wasn't like guys with souped up wheelchairs trying to sling the ball down the lanes. Shout out to Brian Gaskin in chat too. I know who's a big bowler. I saw him in chat earlier commenting on my beard. It's a little out of control right now. I need to get in and see somebody that might actually be able to shape it up. I've not actually ever had anybody cut it, so that could be an experience, I suppose.
I'd go to an old man.
Bowling set my precedent, by the way, for like most sports in life that I don't know about. Like it's like there's this much trouble taking this giant ball with your hand on it and rolling it down this short little alley and hitting the pins. What the hell are you trying to do? Trying to take this like thin little club, hit this itty ball, and make it go anywhere close to where you want it to go? What?
I was never a big fan of golf. I loved hitting the balls. Didn't like chasing them around. It's fun to just try to hit the ball.
I would like it, and then I went out with my stepbrother to this actual, whatever it is, here at Country Club here in Franklin, and had a blast. Had no idea that I would enjoy it because all I knew about golf was Caddyshack. Pretty much it, and we would go to the country club to swim in Shreveport, but we never really, cared one way or the other about trying to attempt to golf. So I think my uncle may have gone to play with it. Like office people making connections, whatever that's all about. But that was all I knew. It wasn't a desire to play. And then My brother was into it. Of course, most of it was drinking and running around a golf cart. I get that, but
Golf carts are
actually
fun.
haven't had fun. Got into it. Got a little skill, but started understanding why I was slicing so bad. How about that?
Mhm. Yeah, it's amazing.
What?
How
I
you
do
just,
too. A 16 Alpha. Oh, with my nunchucks. They're just hanging over there, sad and dusty.
I like
saw that pop
caddying.
up.
were you doing nunchucks when you were wearing the headband, rocking the headband?
Dude, of course.
Did you have them tethered around your belt?
No, I
Walking
didn't
down the street?
carry them per se. Had them.
Yeah, it is good.
You don't want to intimidate the old ladies. You got to keep them in your back pocket under your shirt. You
So,
only,
Liz, do you? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, you only move your shirt behind them when you see someone that might be a threat. You just got to let them know that they're there. You don't ever have to pull them out as long as they see them there in your back pocket.
Bruce Lee.
So, Miss Liz, I wanted to know if she's ever golfed. I mean, she's by St. Andrews and some of the
Oh
The
no.
origin.
the origin of golf.
Yeah, there was no way that I was going to hit that little ball with a golf club. It
Exactly.
was never going to happen.
It wasn't going to happen. Yeah, I caddied. My thing was I hung out with single-digit handicap golfers, which are very good. And there's just no way on even the swings and missing the ball half the time on the
Yeah,
driving
they
range.
weren't going to wait around for you.
They weren't going to wait around for me, so I got good. And it was super irritating for them. So I didn't try much, but I did caddy much, and it's like what will bowl, and I could see there's just no way.
I did do putting. I
did
can
do-
remember
Mhm.
when I was a little girl, at my gran and granddad's house, on the grass, they had the holes, and we
Oh, wow.
we would
That's
play
cool.
putting, and I wasn't very good at that either.
I thought you were doing goofy golf. I didn't know what you meant.
I got good at putting. The
Oh,
putting
yeah, I did
on the
too. We had
greens,
one
yeah.
in Shreveport that I lived at, man. Of course, they had an arcade and the track
That's
for the
fun.
go-karts and all that. We would play a quarter a hole. Oh, wait, no, we weren't gambling. Who would? No, Frank caller.
Frank Collar.
I could putt and then I could chip. They do chipping, and I never made it past the chipping where it's like they said, okay, you passed that skill and you can go up to the next skill. But I got like pretty passable at chipping. But yeah, I spent a lot of years even doing that. Again, you caddy, you go to the golf thing, and they're better golfers. But it's fun.
Yeah, my game from like
Pretty coarse.
100, 150 yards in, I was good. From my 6, even my 7 iron. From those up to my sand wedge, I was dead on, chipping, putting, flopping, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
my close game was really good. That's where I
But
was.
driving
I was
made me
slice
so
king.
mad. Dude, I used to pull out my reinforced 3 iron and I would use that as a driver because I was tired of chasing the ball
Yep.
off to the right.
I never did that though. I didn't know that was the thing that would help. But I chased.
It's just not as big. It's a little bit smaller than a 3 wood. Even my 3 wood, it's just the shaft is longer. I didn't do good when I had to stand a little bit further away. When I got to stand right over the ball and look down at it, that's how yeah. And that reinforced 3, I could punch it maybe like 220, something like that. Somewhat accurate. But yeah, I'd pull out that driver and nope. Slice, 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 slice. One good one every now and then, or I'd put one out there. But yeah, nope. That's why I never really played. I didn't like playing. Whenever I went to the driving range, I'd usually just go with my 6 iron. Sit there and bounce it off the 150 yard sign over and over and over again. I'd have all those guys out there with their golf gear on and their big bag with all the different stuff, and they got the little hat on with their thing and their gloves. And I come out there with plaid, big giant shorts, getting ready to go to work, bandana on, big giant hair poking out the back. Just sit there bouncing the
need a
ball.
picture.
off the
Oh, I need to
150-yard sign, just over and over again. They're just looking at me like, how are you doing that? Like, it's easy from, that 6-iron. That was my baby. But yeah, as soon as I'd go up to that driver, nope, done. And I never really cared enough to get good. Like you said, you'll learn things. I got a little bit better at driving, putting my feet in different positions, aiming where I'm trying to hit. Don't try to hit the ball. Aim 2 inches ahead of the ball.
Right. I was
all that
just
kind of
gonna
stuff.
You to say that. Don't even aim at that.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many different tricks and stuff like that. And I was just like, this game, it was too expensive to go golfing all the time.
Absolutely. I know somebody who has some clubs you could keep off of. And I do see your comment in chat, Cam, and yes, indeed, unicycle skills count. There was a guy in my neighborhood, or not my neighborhood, my cousin neighborhood in Shreveport growing up. He was like, he lived on a unicycle. He was that guy that would sit and talk to you, just kind of moving back and forth, standing in one position, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not a robot. Get off the wheel. He stayed on it. Crazy good.
So what's it like in Scotland, Liz? Is there a lot of just big, giant open fields of grass?
There's, what do you mean loads?
Like here, if
Like in
there's
the movies. Come on.
well, if there's a
Rolling
big open
hills
field here, usually it won't be grass. I mean, we do have grasslands in the U.S., but a lot of times it'll be wild plants, not grass. It'll be, dandelions or this or that, or there'll be an assortment of a bunch of different wildflowers and stuff like that. Most fields are at least, there's all those other things take over the grass. Like you have to really work to keep something grass around here without these other plants coming and taking over that area. I was just wondering, in Scotland, do you have big open fields of grass?
No, not really. We had, as Cami was saying, it's like rolling hills. There's a lot of ground cover of. We've got a lot of heather, but I mean, round my area, we've got the Lowland Hills that I think used to be volcanoes, and it is hilly. And then as you go further north, you start to get into the mountains and a lot of farmland. And
There's always somewhere I wanted to go. Scotland and Ireland. Those were two when I was real young. I saw in pictures and movies and stuff like that, but it always fascinated me. The big open rolling hills and
once you get sort of past Perthshire and up towards where the mountains are, it's just breathtaking. And the lochs, there's quite a few lochs. So you've got, it is beautiful once you get out of the towns and the cities. And again, it's like everywhere else, it's empty.
Mm-hmm. For some place, I mean, it's not small. It's big, it's huge. But compared to like the U.S., I mean, the whole island, England and Scotland together. I mean, there's a lot of open land, isn't there? Oh,
yeah, definitely. I mean, you talk about the world being overpopulated, and you think, well, the UK's a very small island, and it's empty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know so much about down in England. There's
I'm sure when you get near there's more big metropolises and stuff like that. But yeah, once you get away from all that, same here in the U.S., there's a lot of country. I never realized it until I drove across it.
Have you been to Vermont, Zack?
No, never.
Me either, but it's described as the United States that's the closest to what it feels like in Scotland as far as the terrain. That
I'd love
surprised
to
me.
go
I
to
was
Vermont. I've been up to
Mhm.
Niagara Falls. That's the farthest I've gone that way. I was somewhat close to Vermont, but I've never been up in there. Yeah, I've never heard of there being a whole lot to do in Vermont. You know,
Go up there
It's-
about this time of year. And what you have to do is drive around.
yeah,
The
the fall,
hills and the
everything
colors.
changing. Oh, I bet.
There used to be a big, I think, covered bridge scene up there in New England once upon a time, too. It'd be fun. Just what I remember having done as a child. My dad would take us on a family vacation once a year, and he was a big fan of the New England states, especially in the fall. So we'd go up there and find covered bridges so he could take pictures of the fall colors and the covered bridges and stuff.
We didn't have many
Um,
up. Go ahead, Walter.
I was just going to say, I've always wanted to head up that way and see the difference because, you know, down here it's pretty much evergreen. Trees are green, they have no leaves. There's not much change color wise here. And even in Mississippi, a little more north that I grew up in, there was a limited amount of change, quote unquote, you know, during the fall. But I was grown, taking my family out to Oregon, and it just so happened to be the right time there. And those hills looked like there was no, you know, nothing. I mean, God had poured paint, had spilled his canvas. I mean, it was just nuts. There was nothing to prepare you for the reality of it. So, yeah, definitely want to see what it's like on the other side of the
And no picture that you look at.
Oh no, I had a
Yeah.
little early day camera and phone, you know, but nothing even.
Yeah, I don't care if you have the best camera in the world. There's nothing like looking with your own eyes and just seeing that, you know.
Astounding.
Yeah.
Astounding.
Zack's teasing me with his background.
I don't even know what he's got. Oh yeah, no
The
doubt.
Aurora Borealis.
Keeps
Eluding you.
missing-
Yes. Rubbing it in. I missed it.
It's a good look with the white t-shirt and that the contrast of it is real pretty. I've been getting lost in it too.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
I do wish I
tomorrow we
could
have
have
the
seen it.
eclipse. I'm excited. It's only going to be like 45 here percent. So I don't even know if that's really going to dim out too much.
No, but you'll be able to pick it up through.
Yeah.
Only
Make it
NASA
45.
approved though.
Yeah. Call your local library, see if they have some NASA approved glasses. Pick up a pair. Don't get ones that aren't NASA approved though. They go blind. NASA. We used to make them in science class during eclipses. Remember those weird looking things with had like a mirror and a film in there?
Uh-huh.
You put it at an
Like
angle.
that, with the
Yeah.
pinhole cameras.
Pinhole.
We had our the janitor in the school was literally I don't remember. It wasn't just poking little pieces of glass with their hand.
That's pretty cool.
I remember
Definitely
during
am not. Oh, go ahead.
one morning when Ironworks was on, and there was an eclipse where it was just taking a tiny bite out of the sun. And Nora in Ireland was watching it, and I went and got my glasses, just the really cheap ones, and I could see the bite out of it while the show was going on. I can't remember when that was, probably a couple of years ago.
Nora was there, you said, or
Well, we were in the chat,
Ah,
so we were sharing it, sort of comparing notes in the chat that morning. You wouldn't have been able to tell without the glasses.
Exactly. That's how I'm thinking this one, because I was trying to remember what one in Denver, what percentage it was that, again, you needed the glasses or things to pick it up on, and it was like 80 to 90%. It's like, wow, you really go into
Well, yeah, no, at 90% you can tell. When I was,
you can tell it gets dim, but it doesn't.
I mean, the crickets started chirping around me. It got that
Well, this will
dim
be at like
at 90. Yeah, we're only going to be like 45%, something like that here.
I think during the
Really
total here, we were at like 70-ish, 70. Enough to notice it different, but not. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, 91 I could tell. It was a cloudy day though too, so that kind of helped.
Yeah, we have 45% is what they say, and we're gonna max out at 114.
Alrighty.
There was a total eclipse in the UK, 2000, about that time, and it was. I mean, that's why I got the glasses, and it was great to watch. But I can't remember what year it was. Somebody else will probably be able to remember that better than me.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the diamond ring, what is that when it's called? When it's at total, and then you get the diamond ring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Ring of Fire.
Yeah. Well,
Or no, when it
diamond
starts,
ring happens right as
it's coming
Yeah.
out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty beautiful. And still
It didn't
nobody's
go as
ever
dark
seen the
as I thought.
moon.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
It didn't go as dark as I thought it would. I was
Mhm.
expecting it to be darker, but I don't know. It was great to see anyway.
Yeah,
It
it's
was-
one of those things where you gotta be there, you know. No picture does it justice. What were you saying, Cam?
I was gonna say it was 2018 that we went and did the total solar eclipse, and we launched the balloons and did the whole. We camped out and put cameras and did a night launch or did the eclipse launch with the balloons going and that. So it was great. It was quite the memory. I'll have that forever. All the pictures and everything taken from that.
Mhm. Yeah, how windy it was.
Yeah. How windy it was. It was a great time
Crazy
though.
launching a balloon with it's that windy. It had to be so hard to control that thing.
It was, but timing was everything. It wasn't like we got another time slot on, catching the eclipse, and so we had a lot of fun with it. Again, it made some really good memories, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, the only eclipse I've really been interested in came and went, and I don't think I saw any pictures of it from like a private person at all, just because of its location. It started out there in like to the west of Australia, out in the ocean, and this one French island was like the only one within like so many miles I was even going to see the start of it. In the middle of it, quite a few people saw it. It was going through that sea between Australia and Indonesia right in there. And then it ended out in the middle of the Atlantic somewhere, or the Pacific, just out there willy-nilly out in the middle of nowhere. Some couple small islands saw it. Yeah, but that was that hybrid eclipse where supposedly, it starts as a ring of fire, then goes to a full eclipse, and then back to a ring of fire, which makes no sense. I thought that was for sure. Well, it is. I mean, how many globe killers do you need? The coffin lid doesn't have room for any more nails. But yeah, that was one I was excited about and didn't see one picture at all. NASA, that was it.
The eclipse that I enjoyed was the lunar eclipse when Walt was doing a live stream. And I was sitting out in the back garden, and I think there was about 5 or 6 of us in the chat. That was good
that
fun.
was awesome.
It was really cold.
It was cold. Sure. Yes, it was.
And that video
That
was
is one
gone,
good thing
isn't
about
it?
this one. It's not as late in the year, so I'll be out there not freezing looking at it.
Yeah, that was like way early in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was getting into daylight. Like the sun was like coming up and the moon was going down, and somehow they were both in the sky at the same time.
Or not a perihelion,
Yeah, there's a word I know. I can't remember it either.
stellanillion.
There it is.
That's the one.
Yep. And I miss that as well. I was thinking about that when I was talking about my camera being messed up on my phone, and how when I first bought that phone, I was so pumped up. Oh, the zoom, the space zoom.
I remember you had that
First
one
picture I
monocle
took,
thing for
right.
it too.
Well, no, that was my old phone. That shit was amazing. I could
Yeah,
get
that one
great
worked well.
videos,
Yeah,
great
that's right,
pictures
because you
of
were
that.
pissed because that thing
And
worked
then I
better
bought
than the
this
new one.
space zoom, 50x, 100x. Oh, and I did the first picture of the moon, and I'm like, well, that looks like somebody pasted a fake moon in the sky. Fast forward 3 years later, and turns out that's exactly what Samsung has been doing, pasting a fake moon every time you had a white circle in your camera. Like, great. I'm so glad I bought this space zoom phone. So yeah, that pretty much did it for me. I have a telescope that I can look through now, and I'm much happier. And it's cool because it gets kids and other people who've never done that interested. I took it over to my buddy Tyler's house, and dude, he was like freaking out. Oh, that's crazy. I'm like, I know, right? He's like, dude, it looks like a rock just up in the sky. I'm like, right, what the fuck? He's like, right, what the fuck?
Yeah, the moon's the thing that got me. I was watching Crow 777 videos. And that's how it all started for me.
Oh, me too. Ditto. Exactly. That's what happened. I was trying to figure out shit I'd seen and Moon do, and like trying to watch videos, and got Crow stuff going, and was going, what the fuck? And then here comes Flat Earth.
I remember thinking, what? These people retarded? What? Flat Earth? I love hearing those stories. They're still coming out. I love it. See all kinds of people. Yeah, I said it to a couple people, mentioned it to a couple friends, got called a retard, never said a word about it again. It's like, I know it's flat, but, I don't go saying it to people.
Right.
I think that was Mark Sargent's greatest advice that he ever gave out. You treat it like Fight Club. You either know or you don't. You don't go around talking about it. You're going to get looked at like you're crazy.
Locked up.
Yeah.
Lose your income and possibly your children and
Families broken up over. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's crazy. Now it doesn't really need to be talked about like that. It's way more out there. It's, even though they don't want it mainstream, it's mainstream. Everybody knows about it. It happened grassroots. Quicker than anything I've seen happen grassroots in my lifetime. How many of the grassroots movements were, even this one, really? I mean, was this let out of the bag on purpose? I mean, they could have just erased every flat Earth video that people put up.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it had to be someone on the inside.
That's great. Who would have thought I'd become a retard too? Right. Oh, you are correct, Bill. Well, he's saying Chad is snoozing. What's up with that? Like, was it this morning or Wednesday morning? It was going by so fast it felt like we were on Globebuster. couldn't even keep up with it.
Just make sure you have the actual live chat shows and not the other one.
Oh yeah.
What's it? What do they call it?
Top chat.
Top chat, I think is what they
Top chat. That's right. You'll click the live chat button and you'll see that you're set to top chat, which makes a lot of sense. So click that and you'll be able to click over to the live chat. So when you press live chat, it'll be live chat.
Raw.
Right.
Now, see, I had the busy day that Zack had. I didn't get the nap, but I didn't have the morning show, so he still had the harder day of the two. But I didn't do a nap, and I went into the show thinking, is it nap time? Oh my gosh, I have nothing left. And then Liz, watching you play, got us giggling. And now you're being too quiet and I'm falling asleep, Liz. No pressure.
I'm still here.
You're still...
Turn on your freaking Switch, Liz.
We'll just stream you playing.
No pressure, no pressure, no pressure, no pressure.
Well, I'm stuck on my phone anyway, so there's not much that I can do. And my iPad died, so I can't even have the chat open on that just now. So not very well organised. Yeah, but that was unexpected.
That was great. That was just what we needed to give us a kick in the butt before the show. Get some giggling in.
The time goes in so quickly when you're playing as well.
Oh, I know. Especially with the storm chasing you around the map.
Oh, that storm's horrible.
That was so funny when you were in the boat and it came and got you. Like, which way
I was
did
getting
go?
ready for going to bed to watch the show. I thought I'll just try one game.
Perfect timing.
And then I realised the time because it was like 11:20, and I thought it was time for you to get ready for the show.
I was just really, I didn't even know
We've
you
been
were
watching
playing.
you for 10 minutes.
I went to go see if Walter was playing a game on the Epic homepage. And it said that you were playing Fortnite. I was like, no way. I got to go jump in and join her team. And then it said you were in the game, so I joined the game, and it dropped a card, like my reboot card, and that's what was my name up there on the screen. That was on there, because my name was up in the corner, and then it was actually on your screen sometimes, going by in the background, way far away, for only like maybe 3 minutes or so, something like that. Then it goes away.
What's it? Because it came up. Good Times for All has joined your
Party.
Yeah, that was it. So I saw that.
Yeah,
But-
and then I jumped into the game without you knowing, and was streaming it. We have it recorded.
And like Josh said,
No,
the
I'm
only reason you
joking.
didn't know is because you're still new to the game and aren't familiar with all the little bells and whistles that try to keep you informed, because there's half the time I'm not even sure what the hell's going on when I'm playing that game.
Mm-hmm. Truth.
Does anyone
I've only
know how?
recently realized which number is my kills, which number is the team kills. All that stuff. I have no clue. I'm just playing and killing. And
I know it's
no
there.
eliminating. No killing. No killing. Eliminating. Sorry.
I still don't know.
Does anyone know how to turn the music off?
That's all in your setting. We're going to have to sit you down and walk through your settings with you, truly, because there's some key settings you want to have turned on that will help your gameplay, and then there's some you definitely want to get rid of that will drive you bonkers, like music and things
Yeah,
like
that
that.
was-
So,
There was no music playing until I was talking to Zack, and then there
yeah,
was
when
the
you're in the lobby,
background
it's usually
music.
the worst time for music. Yeah, that's when it's usually the worst. So, and you can kill it completely, or you can just have it really low. You can do whatever, you know. And then as you play the game, you'll get different music that comes up somehow. I don't remember how that happened. Is it part of the passes and stuff? I don't know. I know I just got a bunch of music now that I keep having to go in and delete or whatever you do on the blocker page to get it out of your list so it doesn't play. Anyway, We'll get you right. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
So, what's the topic for tonight then? Other than Fortnite.
Naha. Mm-hmm. Right.
For you.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really didn't have too much.
I've been really music. That's where I've been. I haven't. The only like regular truth videos that I ever watch are usually with people that I either already do shows with all week, or that I, pretty much know everything they know, quote unquote, quote unquote. So it's kind of like we just basically hang. I mean, that's what it kind of has become is we all love each other and hang out, and I can only show people so many things, plant so many seeds, until it becomes just like you're beating your head against the wall now. And so, like, yeah, here it is, and I've got 8 years of it. If you want to dig back through, we got all kind of clues and all kind of stuff. And I just rather have fun with people I love now. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it's become. So for me, YouTube has become an endless stream of how to play this song. Here's a new guitar that you didn't know had come out. Here's a new band you didn't know. Going back through, finding old bands I'd forgotten about, catching up on where they've been for the last 8-10 years. Getting to know a lot of behind the scenes about stuff that, completely has no real value at all, other than I'm one of those people who, when I'm into something, I like to know a lot about it. So I'm interested to hear about the guy who sat in the studio and ran the board while, Faith No More was making their Real Thing album or whatever. That's me. I want to know about stuff. So I'm going to dig into it. But, once you get through the aliens are not really from another place, and you get through the history is a total shit show lie, and like, well, we're not going to figure it out. We can look at a lot of cool videos and pictures and talk about it and maybe work out some clues, but they've got that stuff so shifted and so many layers of it now that this is
and all
hard.
the things that have been hidden.
Right. I mean, there's so many things. So it's just like any of it's great. I love talking about it and watching it and seeing it, but it's just not like it was when I was just endlessly digging, and every day was a revelation. And yeah, I just had an aha probably since, like, truthfully, since Better Think was on here, Better Wrong Think was on with his stuff, which I intend to get him back on, but again, we're kind of in this limbo right at the moment that, he'll definitely have stuff to present, and I don't know. We'll see. As soon as we can make that happen, for sure.
Yeah, we got Plateauberfest next week.
And that's coming up. That's going to be a huge amount of things going on, for sure. What did I just see? Someone asked us about space letters. I did not see the launch. Cool. I'm sure there were a few mistakes.
So if we suddenly stop broadcasting, it's because it's raining real good out here.
There you go.
I haven't seen a lot of lightning or anything, but I do hear the rain, so I assume that there's
Raining hard then.
stuff's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
And it stopped.
Raw?
In Denver,
No, the rain.
Oh, I thought you said, okay, I don't know what I thought you said.
it never really rained hard in Denver, like Indiana hard rain, or even here in South Carolina hard rain. You didn't get that in Denver. You got rain, and you got it in all right amounts. But when Vince came out here, he couldn't believe how hard it was raining, how much water was all falling like every second coming down. And it wasn't even the worst rain we had seen here. That's the thing. Yeah, just the difference in the amount of rainfall, and things like that is so vast. It's wild. Like, I don't know if it ever rained really hard when I was in Denver those years. What would you say, Cami? Denver hard rain compared to out here. Did it ever really get hard in Denver?
I don't think in the time you were out there it got hard. We did have some patterns on a couple of different years, where we did get some floodings and some downpours, but it was what we had here when Vince was here was we weren't having any weather. We were just having our regular weather, and the hard rain, getting up to even like what we had and we called hard rain here would have been like an extraordinary flood event in Denver. It wouldn't have been just a storm. Because again, when he came, there was nothing special going on. We were just having our spring weather, but it would have been
huge in Denver.
Huge in Denver. There would have been flooding and things like that. Again, just to get the amount of rainfall, the things are not set up so much for it. That, there can only be so much drainage in that because it's not the norm for the system. So, but yeah, it's definitely more humid, more rainy. And my brother, who does all of these fabulous pictures of where he does it, it's absolutely beautiful here. He took pictures of bugs here. I have this beautiful dam. You got the path, you got the trees. He posts these fabulous pictures, and he's like, at my sister's in South Carolina, and he's posting bugs. And I was like, thanks, hon. It's like, damn, you got big bugs there.
Oh yeah, it's totally different than up in the mountains up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that was really nice. You didn't see a whole lot of insects up there living that high up the mountain. You still had them, some of them, but not like down here at like 600 feet elevation. It's like everything can live down here.
Oh, that's because, okay, well, I'm looking at his forecast right now, and so keep in mind it's only 5:30 there, not 7:30, and currently it's 36 degrees, so sunny and 36 degrees, but it's going to be getting a little bit colder, so yeah, I just pulled him up there, and low temperature around -5.
No way.
Vallecito Lake, Colorado 14
No, I'm not saying no way like that. I'm saying no way. I don't know. I would not want to be there. I've been in -5. It's not fun.
Oh, it's -5 Celsius, 24 Fahrenheit. Chance of rain. But this is normal fall weather. They're still going down to 24.
Yeah, still 24 is not fun. I mean, that's not horrible.
We really don't get it. I mean, getting down to 24 here is a big deal, and they're not even, they're still kind of in summer.
We're in October, yeah. Yeah, no. No, thank you.
So yeah, I think that has the complete fact that it's going to completely freeze over the winter, and that too is going to have some effects on their bugs. They don't get to be big bugs. They get a season, that's it.
What about out there in Scotland, Liz? Because you don't get a whole lot of snow or anything out there.
They don't get a bunch of temperature variables in there, I don't think, on Scotland. I think they've got just a little bitty
window.
How cold do you get there, Liz?
Well, some winters we've had it where like the snow's come up to my fence posts out the back. And there have been some years, like I think the year that I was born in 1958, the roads were impassable and it was quite a hard winter. I think there was another one, maybe 64. And some years we hardly had any snow at all this winter. So it just depends. And sometimes we can get snow in October and then nothing till March. And it varies quite a bit, but normally we don't get it really cold.
And you're up there over 40 degrees north, aren't you?
Say that again?
Sure. Your latitude.
Right. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, it would be about that.
I think England or somewhere down there was around 41. Let's see. Scotland's latitude. Whoa, 56 north.
I didn't know that.
That's up there. United Kingdom. Oh, United Kingdom. Edinburgh. Wherever Edinburgh is 55 north.
Say that again.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Borough.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. How is that? Edinburgh.
Yes.
There we go.
Hi, Travis.
That means you got to say Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. That's
What
the
are
proper
you-
way.
What are you closest to, Liz? Glasgow? Go ahead.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, okay. Can Aberdeen,
No,
Dundee,
Cami. Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
She can't roll her
I
R's.
can't roll my
I'm like 10 minutes away from Aberdeen.
Ruffles have ridges.
There's a
All right.
little bit, there's a wee peninsula that sort of sticks out on the east of Scotland, and it's in the shape of a Scotty dog's head. So
Really?
north of it's Dundee and south is Edinburgh. And then the Kingdom of Fife is where I am.
The Kingdom of Fife.
Yeah.
See, I know of this from my books. This is great. I have not been there, but in my childhood and things reading, this is where I always went, was to Ireland and to Scotland. And
Mm-hmm. Me too. That's wild. Yeah, when I was young, I would write poetry and stuff like that, and I'd always look at pictures of Scotland and Ireland. Just think, I'm sitting right there. I'm just sitting there. That's where I would go when I would daydream. So what's happening, Trav?
Not much. I just said goodbye to my son and my grandson. They came over for dinner, so we had a nice little dinner time here, and they
Nice.
took off back home. So I thought I'd jump in here and see what's going on around here. What's going on? There's Cami and Liz and Zack. Who else is here? I only see us four right now. So
Walter and Josh.
there you go.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there you are. I had to scroll down there. I see it now.
I'm here.
I'm
There you
here.
go. Okay,
It's not
gotcha.
on camera. It was a wake up to no shower day, so
Yeah, no water.
no water here. Oh, it's probably on now. That show.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm not. Well, knock on wood. I hope they didn't leave us without water all day and night. It has happened before in Franklin. So.
So did anything happen today, Friday the 13th?
Apparently, that was my bad luck for the day, is to wake up for a shower that I.
If
couldn't
that's all
take.
we had, then that's,
And the worst
that's
I
a good
could-
thing.
Yes.
There was that sort of thing still going on over in the Middle East that is trying to then spread out to other major cities. Today was the International Day of Rage in support of the Palestinian people. So there's that going on around the world. All of the major cities were on high alert. All the LEOs in the major cities were on high alert today, in fear of.
Is it are the Israelis like the drama queen of the Middle East or what?
Pretty much.
Pay attention to me.
Oh my God! Look at me! Look at me! Why'd you look at me? Don't look at me! You can't
But
look at me!
But look at me. Don't look at me.
Don't look too close!
You know what's so funny? That there's a great SNL skit with Kristen Wiig where she's like, "I don't want to sing. Don't make me sing. Are you gonna make me sing? Okay, I'll sing, but don't make me sing. Don't ask me to sing."
So you're more biblically scholarly than I am, Travis. Isn't Israel a people, not a place?
Well, I mean, okay, look, if you go back to it, there's like almost like a progression of this transition in time periods between when you have the designation of Abraham, Father Abraham. Okay, it's not Father Adam per se, it's Father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Abraham was a Hebrew, and then Hebrew was the designation for his people, so to speak. And then Jacob wrestled all night with a messenger from God and came out victorious in the end because he persevered, and then he was renamed Israel. And so then that became the progression of the people. So it was Hebrew, Israel, and then you get through that. So Israel became just this catch-all in terms of it's just idiomatic,
Right.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. I've heard so many different interpretations growing up, trying to suss out, prophecy, whatever.
It's really
interesting
crazy
that you bring up that about the wrestling with the messenger, as we're actually having a secondary discussion in chat about alien abduction. Interesting. Why would he have to wrestle the messenger from God? Just wondering.
Well, but okay, now how long have the Palestinians? Hasn't it been like 700 years or something like that they've been there? I mean, wasn't
At
that
this
what
point,
the Crusades and all that stuff was about?
that this part of the discussion I'm going to back out of, because the whole Palestinian-Israeli thing, I think, is more of a modern construct.
I don't know the names and all that kind of stuff, but
and that's kind of what I was implying with the question. Exactly.
But yeah, it's just like some people moved in there, however they got there, but they've been there for a very, very long time. Long, like 3 times as long, over twice as long as this country has been a country, the United States. And it's just weird to me. And over this little strip of land, 5 miles by 25 miles, I don't get it. Unless there has to be some kind of, actual reason for them, not the reason they give us, but the actual reason why they're doing this. I have no idea what it could be.
Well, I don't know. This is probably not the right answer, but what's pretty much the mainstream story is because of the war where so many Jews were lost. They were given, after the war ended, they were given a homeland, their own homeland, and Great Britain gave them, with the rest of the country sign on to it, pretty much somebody else's country, or again.
That's just Republican propaganda.
But you're right. The people were there. The people were there, and they were given this as, again, a reward. But they were given a reward, or they were giving this to like a little, like, you live there, this, and we're giving you this price type of thing. But you're giving them a price that there is an itty bitty tiny strip that's completely surrounded by people that don't want them there. Not just the Palestinians.
Yeah, it's like one of the most
Lebanon,
populated
Syria,
places in the area.
The Gaza Strip is there, but the Gaza Strip is one of the most densely populated areas in the world, as far as I don't know if people are aware of, like, how densely populated that little strip is. It's packed. It's building to building. But Israel itself is a tiny country.
It's not any bigger than Jersey.
It's not any bigger than Jersey. I mean, it's just, I've been in the Negev desert. You can get on a hill and look, and you can see into 4 different countries. For a girl growing up in Colorado and going into Israel and looking at Syria, looking at Lebanon, looking at Egypt, and looking at Jordan, while standing on a hill is pretty. Yeah,
that's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild.
So that's like the 4 corners of the Middle East?
No, it's a hill. It's a hill up in the desert that you can look out and look in different directions and see different.
Well, that's what I mean.
Because that's how.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not talking about where they're touching. I'm talking in the middle of the country. You can actually get up on a hill and you can see. That's how. That's
small it is.
Well, isn't there a place in Tennessee that's like that? Like Lookout Mountain or something like that?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
Right near Chattanooga.
Right.
Right, but the whole thing is
7 states, and I think 128 miles or something like that is the farthest peak.
So the thing about it is, though, with there, you're looking in states into another state. In Israel, you're looking at, like, again, into a bunch of areas that the people don't want them there. You have the Jewish people that were told on a religious basis to make aliyah, or that it's their duty to go, and the greatest gift, and that they're supposed to, and then Christians backing them up as that's the way
but yeah, I mean,
prophecy goes.
Make them a country, but look at all the land that's out there. We could have given them like half of Kansas or something, or whatever, a
We
big
gave 'em-
swath of land. If you needed just 5 miles by 25 miles, I mean, there's open land out there all over this place.
And I don't.
Pick the country.
That's why
bet
I
they
don't
have
think
it.
this is about land per se. For at
Yeah,
least
that's what I'm saying.
It's about
some of the
tourism, Holy
players.
Land and the whole, it's the players, but they're set up in that little area, and it's really hard.
It's all about the end times. They're trying to kick off Armageddon and release
Correct.
the fucking seventh Mahdi up out of the
Right, it's
well.
all
And,
the script.
Right.
Well, that's what I think Bill Wheel there in chat is pretty close here, saying modern Israel is a Rothschild entity, not scriptural
Mhm.
and see,
Israel.
that's what's even more disgusting, I think, is because it's not that after the war that they just gave them a swath of land as a reward. I think it's even worse than that. It's more of a, we're going to sign off, we're going
Right.
to co-sign your bullshit. Like, oh, you just tell us whatever fucking pronoun you want to use and we'll just make it happen. We'll give you bathrooms, we'll do whatever you want, and we'll co-sign your nonsense bullshit. And that's what they did. Oh, you claim that shit's been yours for 3,000 years? Fuck it, okay. Have it. Fuck it, it's yours. You go ahead and do whatever you need to do to get the people off that land. I don't care. Fuck it. As a reward, then we'll pat you on the head
but
and send you on your
if
way.
you have people bending over to give this small, just really insignificant piece of real estate that much attention, like, I still don't understand.
It's the holy land of all of the different religions. I mean, or not all, but so many religions are based with, I mean, it has significant structures and history and things that tie people religiously. And as far as their history and into the Bible, now, as far as religious itself, you could say, I mean, some of the most religious Jewish people on the realm would be like the Satmar Jews, which you see them as the ones in the really big bunny hats and the locks down their sides, the spinny locks. They are totally against. They do not believe Jews have any business whatsoever in Israel, and that this is all part of a political plot, not to end in that. So you have, again, even within the religions, it's a very contested. Especially when you get into the religious Jews, you have a group of them that the rabbis are saying it's our duty to do this, and you have other ones saying if you read through, you shouldn't. It's a complicated situation. It's a mess because, again, you gave something that belonged to somebody else, but you did it in an area that's so overwhelmingly
sacred.
well, sacred, and again, so overwhelmingly Muslim in the different countries around it that, again, a little bitty speck surrounded by people that don't want you there. It's a recipe. It always has been one.
You're gonna have a bad time.
I don't want to be heartless about it.
I don't want to be heartless.
But-
In this, I watched the chats. They say, who do you think to blame? Iran, Turkey, USA, or that? I think like Great Britain. And again, the strategy of doing it after World War II, handing off, is, I think what we're facing is inevitable.
It was planned this way.
It was planned
There to
this
be
way.
strife in the region.
Right.
I know they say that Iran was a major funder and organizer and major player in all of this.
They like to blame a lot of things on Iran.
They like to
Not
blame
saying
a
that
lot of
they're
things
not.
on Iran.
We just gave them a big pile of
Everything
money
is.
last month. So
Uh-huh.
we pay Iran, Iran pays Hamas, and this
And Iran are
happens.
the non-Arabs in the group. Iran are the Persians.
And they're the ones that really want to kick this shit off. They're the ones that are, their entire country is run by the religious fucking head.
This is so convoluted. It's like dealing with a sociopath in a relationship. It's like, you know
No
what?
doubt.
Like, you know what? If you want to be a drama queen, like, go away. Just do that somewhere else. Just leave me the Smurf alone and do your drama somewhere else.
Or
Like, why are you involving the whole freaking world?
Yep, accept the responsibility of it at least. You want to be a drama queen, fine, but there's going to be consequences to it. And don't come fucking crying to me because you were a drama queen.
You didn't give me enough attention.
Now Hamas is showing me attention, and I don't like it. Sorry. I think as a purely in the name of science, I say we just go hands off and see who fucking comes out on top. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, but the point to that is like the rest of the world doesn't have to do anything about that. Like, just leave us at the like whatever.
Oh, so if they die, you're gonna the end of all mankind in eternity, and that's it. Armageddon ensues.
Listen, man. Listen, we don't have enough time in the rest of your program to get into the bullshit that you're talking about right now. But I have enough to say about that. I think I probably said it enough a couple of years ago when I've been on your show. But I mean, there's. I'll just say, like, I'll limit it to like 3 ways. There's 3 ways we can interpret the entire story that we're talking about, and the one way to interpret it is what the world what the world thinks is happening. But there's 2 other options that are alternative explanations, and mine is that everything that everyone thinks is happening now has already happened in the past. Okay, this story, in my opinion, is over and done with, and whatever machinations, you know, the powers that be had, like, we could actually take this story that was over and done with and keep it going. Like, we can just twist it and shape it, and we can then orchestrate it so that it's a worldwide
blueprint
matrix.
Yeah, it's really weird how you see it all happening, you know, kind of like it's all being planned out and it was all written down and plotted. I mean, to say that someone made revelations, you know, 2,000 years ago and now they're coming true.
But see, the irony though, Zach, is that when you read the book of Revelation, on the face of it, it seems like the audience that the author was writing to 2,000 years ago were being talked to as if those events were happening to them. But now we're 2,000 years later. See how my finger went away from the screen? See how it went away, right? So this event that's over and done with, it happened. But now, like, I just don't get it. I mean, it's absolutely like a brilliant screenplay of writing. I couldn't even imagine being able to manipulate a story that well. But
well, it's taken a long time too, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think they've done this before too. If the Crusades hold any merit, you know, this isn't the first time they've done this in this land.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's almost a part of it. Like it's a chess game, right? We see what moves make sense. Okay. All of those moves we made, that didn't make sense. So now let's like reset. Wipe everything out. Start over again.
Yeah.
Like, do it again. Do it again.
Wait till everybody forgets about this part. Don't teach anybody about it in any schools or any history. And we'll do it again here in 100 years, maybe 200 years. We'll go back there and get a big group to go with us that won't know anything about our failure this time.
And if people are the way people are, you take the word of those who are in authority and the story that they give you, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that's just the way it is. All right, okay. Which is the way we are, most of us, you know, masks, all this other stuff. We just go along with what the authorities tell us. We don't know any better. They're the ones with the white coats and the pens in the pocket.
Why would they lie? Right?
Yeah.
I got to speak to my little brother today. He's doing pretty good and everything. He's talked to my mom about flat Earth, but he won't really ask me any questions. I've taught him so many things about so many different topics, and I want him to ask me about this. like any questions he has. Right now, he's smart. He could have done his own research and figured stuff out, but I know he's one of those people that it would eat away at him if he didn't, comprehend how this works with his new way of seeing things. And I just wish, he would ask me about it. That's on my bucket list of things that I would really want to happen. I want my little brother to ask me about flat Earth. Because he told my mom a while back, Mom, I know it's crazy, but I think Zach's right about the whole flat Earth thing.
Well, even my son is farther along than I was when I was 26 in terms of understanding that the world is not what he used to think it was. And yet, so I raised all 5 of my children to be Christians. And now, so I started what I like to think of as a memoir. And I've titled it, "I'm Not Your Childhood's Father." Like I'm not the man who raised you.
Yeah, a lot has changed since then.
I am not. You are what I raised you to be, but I'm no longer the man that raised you. I've changed,
That's
and
a great way to look at it, Travis.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. I love that. Kel and I went through a big, rough spot as I was waking up to all this yet again, because there's been, as we all have gone through, many like ahas through our lives. That's what kind of got us here. And she knew me before we were together as a couple. She knew me in a group of friends and had heard me talking about topics in those days, very passionate, just like you hear me about things now when I get passionate. Very animated, very, questing, looking, burning, that whole thing where you talk so much your ears turn red and you're just like, on fire about it. And then all the things that I was talking about with that same passion and semi-certitude kind of all went on a big pyre. That's all out the window now, and everything she thought I thought has completely upended. And so that kind of threw her, who I thought, who she thought I was no longer who I was. And that's not who I was any longer. And that really was she had to grapple with that considerably, but it made us stronger, and it made her see that, there's a whole lot of stuff that is not what we all thought it was. And definitely let me reassess some things as well, which she has done considerably in her life. So I like that,
love
Travis.
Shell.
I like the way you put that.
You got to remember how lucky you are.
Oh, I am, dude. I am lucky, and I know it. Trust me, because it could have worked out a whole different way. Very much. It has with people we know and love. So,
what about you, Liz? Have you spoken to any family members about flat Earth?
Oh yeah,
You probably told us this just last week or last time you were on. I apologize. My memory's horrible.
Well, that was 2016, and at that time, when I was at the shop and I was going through everything on the laptop and reading everything, and I was coming back to my son and his partner, and just had to tell everybody. And they listened, and they could take on board what I was saying. And the funny thing was that, I had a split with my family. And during that time, my granddaughter had gone to university, and she was studying astrophysics.
Oh, no.
And of course, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. And I spoke to her about some stuff, and she packed it in. And they do take on board what I'm saying, and I think they believe it, but it only goes so far, to the point where like baby truthers, they don't think it affects their
Everything.
lives.
Yeah.
I think they're too materialistic, and even though, like during all the pandemic, they totally knew that it was all a scam, but I think they wanted life to go back to how it was in 2019. I just don't think they've taken that extra step, and they've got annoyed at me for just going on about it all the time. And but I think they'll get there. But
Yeah, don't give
I
up
think-
on them. It took my brother 7 years.
I think I said that at one point where, like, the truth, unless you suffer for the truth, then you've not really taken it completely on board. And I think when it affects people personally, that's when they'll have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's interesting about what you just said, Liz, is that I was more evangelistic about flat earth than I ever was about Jesus.
Dude, that is exactly what Shell said. She said that exact thing to me. It's like, you never went on about this, about anything. Religion, spirituality, whatever it was. You never were just like this about it. Yeah, that's cool.
Which is interesting to think about, because I devoted my life to Christianity. I got a master's degree. You know what I mean? And I would talk, if you wanted to talk about it, I would talk about it, but I wouldn't be evangelistic. I wouldn't like impose my views on you.
Well, because it's, there's a big difference between believing in something and knowing something. When you know something, you just can't help but be passionate about it. You have no fear of, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, there is no fear anymore. If you don't know the answer, the answer's out there somewhere, because we all know that we don't live on that spinning ball anymore.
Right. I think that is it, Zach. That certitude inside you hits, and it finally goes, okay, this
matter of factness.
Yeah. Right. This was the one that makes all that other crazy shit I've been trying to wrestle with make even more sense. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. And I need other people to get to this, because that's what makes all this other stuff either make sense, or you can dispense with it or move on or get it wrapped into your whatever. And that was why it was such a burning thing of like, okay, people, everybody hurry up and get this figured out too, because Lord, what a relief. What a like, oh, well, of course, duh, now all this other idiot shit makes sense. No wonder everybody's dumb. Oh, man.
I wonder if that could be an analogy to heliocentrism. So heliocentrism is to Christianity what...
had the trailer on, it's probably just fanning it. Francis?
Well, I mean, it's like heliocentrism has nothing, in my opinion. Go ahead. Am I talking over? I don't want to talk over Cami. Are we talking over each other?
I should be off the air. I should be muted. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, my microphone is red, so I apologize.
That's okay.
It's red. Zach's looking at it. It's red.
It's fine. I could tell you weren't talking to us, and it was some kind of tech issue. So,
what I was saying was that heliocentrism, in my opinion, has no basis in reality. It's all conceptual, metaphysical things that cannot be empirically validated, which is the same for Christianity. I mean, you can't validate anything. It's all in a text. So you have to then just go to that story. So to me, the reality of flat Earth became empirical, where I wasn't a fanboy of NASA, right? I wasn't a space fan. I wasn't a politics fan. I wasn't a news fan. That wasn't my world. And so when someone simply in 2017, I was randomly listening, and actually, Flat Earth Banjo, right? You guys know that channel?
Oh yeah, Eddie.
Right. He posted, it was bizarre. It was like 2 weeks ago. He posts videos all the time. He posted this random video, which was the exact video that converted me to Flat Earth. And I hadn't seen it in 5 years. But it was the video where I was listening to a sermon, and the guy went off on a tangent about geocentrism and how he said to his audience, "You guys all know that I'm a geocentrist and blah, blah, blah." And I was like, what? Like, this hit me out of nowhere, like nowhere. I wasn't ready for it, nothing. But he simply brought up the Coriolis in respect to flights from east to west, right? He just simply broke down that the reality of that. At the end of that, and it took less than a minute. In 1 minute, I was undone. And can't even remember why I brought that up. But anyway.
Eddie Banjo, because he had just posted it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but I don't remember why and it's no fault of what happened in terms of the over talking with Cami, but I think I lost my groove. If that's no big deal, whatever. We can keep going.
It happens.
Yeah, no worries.
It's an interesting thing, though, that you bring up the video that did it for you. I really don't know that there was a particular one, that was like the aha.
Oh, I got it. Can I go back to it real quick?
Yeah, go.
Okay. What I was trying to say was that I wasn't invested in space. I wasn't invested in the science of heliocentrism. So when he brought up a simple demonstration of physics, I was like, that fucking makes sense. That totally makes sense. Space doesn't make any sense. But but what you just explained, I can completely understand the physics of what you're saying. Yes, that would be the case. If this is happening, if you think the earth is spinning in one direction and you're flying in the opposite, those things are going to compensate. Right? If the earth is spinning towards you at Absolutely. 700 miles an hour and you're flying toward the west in 500 miles an hour, those things are going to cancel each other out. But they don't. You've got a half an hour distance at times from east to west. I mean, do it, Look up any flight pattern from Baltimore to LA and then LA to Baltimore. It's a half hour difference. That's as simple as it gets. But see, I had no investment. I had no dog in the fight. So for me, I was like, oh my God, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I had gone down the NASA rabbit hole heavy,
Me too.
So it was a procedure to get that out and see all the mistakes and go, well, why would they do this if it's real? And why would they do that if it's real? Why can't I find a fucking picture? I've seen 100 of them. They're all the same thing. All those little things that finally add up to that preponderance of evidence where you finally go, oh, goddamn, they're faking all of it. And you're done. And then you can go, okay, well, let's look at this flat earth thing again. And let me go out to the beach and see what I can see the sun actually doing. And so suddenly it just all worked out. I mean, it was a process. It definitely wasn't an aha moment. It definitely were questions I had asked hundreds of times to the professors and trying to figure out all these astrophysics and things. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Show it to me. Show me a demonstration of that somewhere on this place. You have.
Here's a mathematical equation for you, Walt.
Nobody could demonstrate any of it. Huh? What was it?
Here's a mathematical equation for you.
Right.
I can show it to you. It's a mathematical equation.
Here it is. Right, math. Right. I thought you were giving me one. I got. I got so out of it. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, here's the math. Figure it out. Accept it. And I didn't want to. I wanted it to make sense. Well, if this is what you're saying happens, then this also has to happen. And that didn't happen, did it? So then how did that happen? And they just never would go down, this is the answer, accept it. And I'm like, no, it has to work. It all has to work. And you're saying shit that don't make sense. Sorry. If only during that period someone had shown me some flat earth things, then I'd have been way ahead of the game. I'd been waiting for you guys when y'all got here. I'd be like, where the fuck have y'all been? But
what took you so long?
Right. But no, I was still chasing the little green man and trying to figure out how we were going to go light speed and just all the dumb things.
Waiting for
Thanks,
Nibiru
Brian May. Right.
come through.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
One of my favorite guitarists was into astrophysics, right? I have to be. It's awesome. No.
I still never thought Neil deGrasse Tyson was cool.
Ever.
I thought he was smart at one time. But I never thought he was cool. Sagan?
Media scientist I thought was cool was Mr. Science. That was the last cool.
Mr. Science.
What was funny is that a couple of months ago, I went to this Italian bar, and the bartender there, oh crap, what's his name? James.
I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch.
Yeah. So I had gone to this bar a couple of times, and James had never been there, and then he was there one night when I went there. So I started talking to him and just chatting it up. I'm like, "Oh, so like, what are you into?" And whatever. He's like, "Oh, I'm into astronomy." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like who do you like?" He's like, "I love Neil deGrasse Tyson." I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm talking to a human being who's in his early 20s, and he actually loves a clown." I was just like, I don't even know where to go. Anything I'm going to say is going to be offensive. I don't even know how not to be offensive. So I'm like, oh, okay. Can I have another drink, please? Another round. I'm just going to pass that one by. You
should ask, what do you think about Ronald McDonald?
Like,
what do you your favorites?
I don't get it. How do you draw a connection between Neil deGrasse Tyson and Ronald McDonald? What do you mean?
Sit down. How much time have you got?
At least he quit going on to, or maybe he has all the questions scripted beforehand now. But like when Joe Rogan asked him about 8 inches per mile squared, the formula for Earth's curvature, he had no idea what he was even talking about. He had no idea at all. What, you mean the gravity drop? 9.8 meters per second squared? He's like, no. The curvature for the Earth. And he never threw out the number. So yeah, I don't even think he was ever taught that. Or if it was like blah blah bloop bing.
Yeah, but what's interesting though is that it's in what's the Bowditch? It's in the American Navigator. They have a chart in the American Navigator with the 8 inches per mile squared. When you're standing on the deck of your ship, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's there.
They're never taught this stuff because he's not there is no physicist.
It's no practical. It's not practical application.
Is there a geophysicist? There's geophysicists. Isn't that a thing?
Well, wouldn't that be like the volcanologist?
Well, yeah, they study Neptune and Uranus.
Yeah,
what's going on inside the Earth.
But yeah, geophysicists, they should know like everything that has to do with Earth, right? You would think.
So what's interesting is that I had a conversation the other day with some writers I picked up from BWI, and I was taking them to Annapolis. And in our conversation, it comes out that he's a crap, what was his expertise? It was in nautical something or other. Oh, wait, it was in radar. It was in radar. And he brought up the height of the observer's, the square root of the observer's height times the, what is it? I can't remember now. What is it? What's the number, Zach, or anybody else? You guys have heard it as much as I have, but I can't remember it right now. But it's the square root of the observer's height times
1.22, is it?
Yeah, something like that, Liz. Right.
Or 1.225.
Right.
Times the square root of the height of the observer.
Right. So he brings that up in terms of the application of radar. So he would. Oh, that's what it was. Because Annapolis, this Friday. This is Friday. So it's this week. This week there was a boat show in Annapolis, and he was there as a representative to this technology in radar that some of the boats had, where they have on their mast, right? They've got the radio signal, and the radio signal only goes as far as the curvature of the Earth. And I only had a short amount of time with these people, right? And we were having a great conversation. And so I'm not trying to, blow up my own ego or anything like that. But I didn't even bring up flat Earth. I didn't even challenge him. I just asked questions. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just like, I didn't want to confront him. I just wanted to ask him about his science, And I said, well, that's really interesting because what you're bringing up is the same equation that goes into visual acuity. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. You're telling me that my eyesight limit is the same thing as the radar limit.
That's wild, and it was isn't it?
What's that?
It's wild.
Yeah. Exactly, right, because I never necessarily thought about those two things being given the same equation, but it was the same exact equation. As soon as he spit it out, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same thing in terms of our eyesight. So, I mean, it's just really, really interesting. I've said this on my channel enough. Like, this whole field, in my opinion, from our perspective, is wide open for remedy. This needs a remedial enema.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's not to say that, like Zack, man, you're a GOT. A GOAT, a GOAT, greatest of all time, right? You with the Great Switcheroo. That video is an amazing video. It's in my playlist on Must Watch FE videos. When you guys were talking about that stuff, that kind of stuff is the exact same science that needs to be redone. Mm-hmm. Because it's true science, but it's been spun, it's been massaged and presented in a way that has to be reevaluated.
Well, yeah, because if they, and it's one of those things they really try not to focus on too much. They don't want you focusing on it too much because they don't want you realizing, hey, why am I seeing that? I know my angular resolution limit now. You taught me all about that. And then now I'm learning about if they taught you the curvature of the Earth, and told you to go test it, you would notice something's wrong. I think that's why we never even tried to test something like that, the curvature of the Earth, which shouldn't be hard to do. If you have a body of water just a couple miles long, I'm sure most states here in this country have them. You can go.
I have one just 20 minutes away from me, the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, and like where I grew up, I had Lake Michigan with Chicago right there. 20 miles up the lake. That would have been perfect to show how the bottom of things are always cut off and all that kind of stuff. You could have seen the curvature of the Earth from there very well, easily. but it's just not there. So they never tell you to go look for it.
And why would you? I mean, you don't need to. They've already told you it's round. What would be the point of going to measure it?
But see, that's the whole thing, right? Because in all of my observations in 5 years, I've never looked at any of my observations. In either this is convex and this is concave, right? Because we have times in which, you know, the Earth looks concave or convex, and then there are times when it looks concave. Whenever I've looked at the images and the footage that I've observed, I've never thought that I'm looking at convexity or concavity. I've never done. The only thing I've ever assessed is I'm looking at distance.
Yeah.
Sorry, the only time, damn, sorry. The only time I ever had this whoa moment for me, and this was way back, this was probably when I was 8. We were driving down to the coast of Mississippi, and there's a road you come down that is literally, you're going down this hill towards the coast, and you're looking basically down that hill to the beach line. And from that beach line is this wall of water that is going up into the sky. And I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? Is there a tidal wave coming at us? I freaked out in the car. Mom's like, what? I'm like, you don't see that water? What's going on? And she explained to me, it's just the way it looks because it's so far and you can see so long and da-da-da-da-da. And I never went, well, why does it curve down? Because, you know, I was 8, but I was definitely freaked out by that wall of water ahead of us. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, me too. Going out to the beach in Michigan City, which we didn't go to very far when I lived up closer to Chicago. It was, 30 miles away, and we got the beach just right up the road, so we'll go right up the road. But we'd go out there every once in a while when we had cousins that lived in South Bend, and we'd meet there at the beach. And every time you're going down that long road, 421, towards the beach, now it's all skyline with casinos, and you can't really see it as well.
Get that same effect, yeah.
But yeah, you'd be up a hill. Yeah, you'd be up this hill, and you're going down the hill, but you could see the water, and it looked like a giant wall of water. And then as you went down the hill, the water also went down with you. But yeah, it just looked like a huge, giant wall of water. And I remember that, Walter. Like, why is that water so high?
What is that water so high?
Yeah,
in the sky? What is going on? Right.
Yeah. What's funny about that is that Shelley Lewis, do you guys know that name, Shelley Lewis?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We've had her on years ago. But
she sent me a photo when she was going to either Laguna Beach or Dana Point or whatever. She sent me the same exact thing that you guys were talking about, both you, Walt, and Zack, same exact thing. She took a picture, and it was a road that was going down, but the beach was higher than, or the water. So she's going down this road, and the ocean is up here.
Yeah, in the fucking sky. Like, what is going on?
She's like, check this out. I'm like, what?
Yeah, perspective. It's a weird one, man.
And just that alone should tell us that our eyes are never going to be able to work this thing out. They're just not.
No, it takes a knowing that we could never know.
There's too many
the variables
that play with the atmosphere and distance and everything else. So yeah.
Like I think we've had this discussion before, Trav. It would need like every meter a sensor for miles, and not just in a straight line, but across and up like a grid. And then you could maybe kind of know what's going on within that grid area that you just built. If they had enough, I don't even know if they could really know all that well then.
The only thing that I can think of right now is to tie a thermistor to a drone and just send the drone out. You got a drone that's got a thermistor, so you set the drone at, like, say, 3 meters above the water surface, and then you've got a thermistor that's down near close to the water surface. So then you've got that, and you go out, and then you've got a drone that's higher above that is at. So the drone is higher than the second drone. So the first drone is at, say, 3 meters, and the second drone is at, say, 6 meters. And then the second drone's thermistor is at the height of the first drone, right? So you've got this tier, right? This gradation. You understand what I'm saying? So then you've got these two drones that are going out into the distance, and one is taking the measurement of the temperature at the surface of the water, and then the second one is taking the temperature at the area where the first drone is, and then you go out into that area. Now, I'm not sure. I know the drone that I bought that was the DJI could only go out 500 meters from my location, so that's as far as I could go. But yeah, I mean, you would have to do that.
And then they're doing the whole GPS thing as well. But there are some drones, aren't there, that do it by some kind of air pressure way they keep stable. They're not locked to GPS.
Yeah, I don't
Seems
know.
like that was happening right as I got out of it. Because I was into drones for a while, and I'm like you, I was trying to work out, man, there's got to be something with these drones we could do to measure stuff,
Right.
My thing was to send like 3 or 4 out, like straight up in different directions over a huge area, so that if they're all going up straight, and that's what they measure with each other, is they're going up straight, and it's got to be flat. If they're going up at angles to each other in different directions, then maybe we're on a ball. But
right.
Yeah, the whole like the GPS thing to me would try to keep it at a certain height, I guess. I don't know. I never had one with an actual GPS. I just think I had gotten one right at the end that had that stabilizer that was based on air pressure somehow. It stayed pretty stable though. Box, but it's not in here.
Yeah.
When I cleaned up.
Never done the drone thing. Never really played with one.
Well,
It's
I was in
really-
the middle area of where I couldn't afford the ones like Travis is talking about, and then the ones I was playing with were either so small that my visual acuity just could barely keep up with them, or they were, just like I said, that last one that me and Quentin had, it was good. It could stay in place. It would keep the height. It would do all those things. Without GPS, somehow it seemed like it was an air pressure way it did it. But yeah, go ahead, Travis. Sorry.
I'm getting old. I can't remember things. I don't remember what I was going to say.
Don't worry, it's that kind of Friday, man. I think we've all got that energy today.
I don't think it matters what day it is for me, Walt.
Trying, man. I'm trying to help you out here.
So,
Definitely.
completely different trajectory. Someone recommended a series on Prime Video that I binged in 2 days. It's only a 2-season series at this point. I don't know that it's going to be renewed, but it should be. It's called Undone. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
Like you mentioned it maybe off the call the other day. Or,
Maybe I
don't
did.
know. Seems like it. Yeah.
So
I had it
it's
written down somewhere.
it's a live action. It's a live action movie that then is rotoscoped, which is a cartoon overlay, right? So then you shoot everything in live action, but then you overlay everything with a cartoon depiction of everything there, so that it kind of gives you that sense and feeling that this isn't that it's not, or that reality is flexible, but it has to do with shamanism and time travel, and it is absolutely amazing. I don't even know how to start talking about it. It blew my mind. It made more sense because you didn't need a DeLorean to time travel. It was simply your spiritual level of awareness. It's almost like lucid dreaming, but in reality. So it's the same idea in lucid dreaming, that you could manipulate reality in a dream and do whatever you want. They were doing it in reality. And the people who were doing it were shaman. They had this spiritual connection to reality so that they could then manipulate reality. And I'm telling you, man, it is amazing. It is amazing. It is a crazy.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be watching that this weekend, most likely.
Undone.
I'm going to go look it up right now. Now, is the second season finished already?
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like it started back in 2019 and then just was 2 seasons. But then I saw that it was released, I think on IMDb it said it was released like in 2021 or 22, so that it felt like there should be a 3rd season relatively quick, because the 3rd season should be coming. I mean, it could be done. I mean, technically it could be done and over with, but I want more. It's like, it was so good. It was so interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out.
So here's the thing about it, right? And I heard this in another podcast, in that there are similarities between the spiritual, intuitive connection that shamans have. And if you took a CT scan of their brain, and, they have this ability to be aware of reality in a way that most people aren't. And so then in their CT scans of their brains, there are ventricles in your brain, and then most people, I would say their ventricles are like, rather acute. But in a shaman, their ventricles are more open, they're more obtuse, they're more receptive, right? They have the ability to receive more information than most people. And when you did the CT scan of a schizophrenic who heard voices and felt as though they had the ability to be aware of things that most people weren't, their ventricle CT scans were the same as the shamans. If you understand what I'm saying. So that you have...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't remember what it was now, but there was something I read a few years ago now, pre-Flat Earth, that was talking about that very thing, how in other eras or in other cultures, most of the people who are considered schizophrenic would be shaman in those cultures.
Right.
They would be the ones they would come to for knowledge and for medicine, real medicine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's another thread in the Undone series that is there. You have the main character, she is a 3rd generation shaman, and her father puts her into a situation that shocks her into, I guess, triggers her spiritual acuity.
Right.
Like wakes her up, turns it on.
Yeah.
Did you ever read Altered States, Padachevsky, the book, not the movie with
No.
Yeah, it's got a lot of that in it. I don't know if you saw the movie in the 80s, John Hurt.
Yeah, I at that point, that Altered States, when I was a kid, I remember seeing that. I can still even see it in my mind, the thumbnail or the poster or whatever was on HBO. I can remember seeing that, but it wasn't my
I was already deep into a lot of weird shit by the time it hit the world, so I was ready for it. And I had already seen something else, man. What else was there that would have been out at that time? Anyway, that already had, maybe I found the Don Juan books. Maybe that's what it was, the Carlos Castaneda books. Anyway, so when that hit, I was ready. I was ready, open, receptive. Now, the fact that it kind of leads into the whole evolutionary thing, that now is a big, maybe that's not exactly it. I don't know. Maybe they're lost and confused with all that idea. But if you also look at our actual, genetic history, there are different genes in our body and all this kind of crap. So whatever. Anyway, the book goes into shamanism in a scientific type way, if you will. And it's like sense deprivation tanks and sacred mushrooms from Mexican Indians and just all kind of stuff. So yeah, and it's been a lot. Like it's been years since I've read it. There's probably more in it than I know. Now that I have been reawakened, I definitely need to find. I know I have a copy up here because I found it when I was redoing my bookshelves. Somebody else's book that was great during that era was the Richard Bach's oh damn it, what is it called? Illusions, the story of the unwilling Messiah, or something like that is the secondary title. Again, a very deep book about modern day shamanism. Highly recommend. If you find a hardcover copy with the actual written pages at the beginning, hang on to it. It's amazing find, hard to get.
I got a paperback copy around somewhere.
I know, I do too. I'm looking at, actually, I just looked at the copy. I have the paperback, but yeah, I used to have that hardback. I think Mel, Shell's sister's got it right now. Or has, it's there somewhere in her piles of books, just like me, piles of books everywhere to read that I haven't gotten to. So, yeah.
It says there was a Undone movie as well.
No, it's look for the rotoscope. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's the same cover as the series. It says there's, let's see, season 2, episode 8, Undone, and let's see, started 2009-13, 2019. But then I'm seeing right next to that, it says movie, not TV. It came out in 2019, but it's not loading in, and it doesn't give a duration.
I don't know what any of that means.
Like the amount of time. So I don't know how long it is.
I think
it's not
like
rated as TV. It's rated as movie.
No.
And it's not like a season thing. It just says Undone, and it says it's a movie. I don't know. Maybe they did the movie
Can you
first.
see does the thumbnail look like it's like this curtain that's being zipped down?
Yeah, they both.
Yeah.
They're both exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
Both thumbnails, yeah. But one says a movie and one says season 2. It has 2 seasons.
Well, I would go to the one that has the 2 seasons then, I guess.
Yeah, that's what something's going on with Putlocker.
I do see some rumblings on different little threads that there's a potential season 3 coming in 2024.
Really?
But I don't know how much truth. I'm gonna send it to you. Hang on.
Hopefully it's not like NASA 2024. Or Rick and Morty seasons. I couldn't stand that. It wasn't like, this won't be out in a year and a half. This one will be out in a year and, 3/4. This one will almost be 2 years. It's like, what are you guys doing?
But all of that to say the acting in it is really, really good. Bob Odenkirk, the guy who does Better Call Saul.
Oh, what? Odenkirk's involved?
Yeah, he's really good at it. He's really good. I love me
some Odenkirk.
Yeah.
Like in the Mr. Show days, there were skits that they would do, and you could see it even then. Like there was this one where him and his buddy were trying to get this like to make a dream come true for kids, a little foundation, but they were trying to do it themselves, like 2 guys out of their apartment. So like, yeah, it's great. And you could just see the depth of just gravitas in that dude's comedy. He was little on when he started actually acting. So yeah, big fan of Odenkirk. I will check it out.
Yeah, everything I've seen him in, he was always a good actor. Even when I see stuff where he's just like the guy who comes in and says one line or something like that. You notice when you watch old TV, you'll see all these people that are real famous now.
Well, I mean, the only thing that comes to my mind immediately is Harrison Ford in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even though then he was behind because he had done American Graffiti before that. But whatever. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but especially like TV shows, you'll see people who never had like their own TV show. What was the show? Was it the Waltons? No, what's the old show that you'll see like all kinds of people on it that got famous later?
Oh yeah, constantly she's on a binge watching not the Waltons, damn it, but Little House on the Prairie. She's constantly calling me in there going, "Oh, come see this one." And somebody that years later they were whatever else.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman was in Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, he was a little boy. Of course, that dude's been acting since he was born. It seems like, Lord. Which he's one of my like go-to guys. I loved him in Arrested Development. I thought he fucking crushed it in that horrible, horrible show, which was very disturbing to watch, but it was great, freaking fun to watch if you like it. That Ozark thing. So yeah.
You know what? Ozark.
Some weird. Go ahead.
Ozark was really good. I couldn't stand Laura Linney in that.
Right. Oh yes, I say it was. Her character was so grating.
No. Her character was fine. I didn't like her.
Oh right.
Like I liked her in the Truman Show or whatever else, but for some reason, her character when I watched her, I felt like she was acting. I didn't feel like Jason Bateman was acting. I didn't feel like Rip, or who was the guy that died? The old guy. It's not Rip Torn. Was it Rip Torn? Who was the guy that died?
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Anyway, I felt like she was trying to act.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is just horrible. Like, are you new? Like, this is so bad. Like, Jason Bateman is crushing and you suck. Like,
who is that guy in Mallrats? The like the lead character. He was in Out Cold about snowboarding. He had a couple movies where he was like the lead role. You could tell he was somebody's nephew or something.
Yeah, I know.
Because he was just a bad actor. Yeah. You always knew he was just acting. And then, yeah, like Jason, is that his name? Jason Lee? Brandon Lee? Jason Lee. Earl?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jason Lee,
Yeah, he helped save Mallrats. Yeah. And Randy. Or I don't even know that guy's name. I just call him Randy because of My Name is Earl.
Right.
One of the best at playing dumb. Yeah. Just genius. My Name is Earl. I wish it was on for more than just the 4 seasons.
I was really surprised because I remember seeing Jason Lee for the first time and I never watched My Name is Earl, but I remember seeing the show on. And later on, when I caught up with the 90s, I finally saw Vanilla Sky and Jason Lee's in that. And I thought he was great in that. And there was another movie that he was in as a supporting character, and I thought he was great. I was like, wow, this guy's... It could have been Dogma. Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah. I always liked him. From the first time I saw him, I was like, wow, I like this character. You know, in everything I saw him in, he just played it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people can act, and some people just cannot. It's like dancing. Either you have rhythm or you don't.
I don't. I am the male version of Elaine Bennett.
If you can't get comfortable and forget that camera's there, you'll never be able to be an actor. I mean, that's just that thing you're talking about, Travis, where you knew she was acting, and you didn't read right.
Well, take it back a little bit, but for Shell, I dropped something into the chat that she'll like. I caught it last week or something when I couldn't sleep. It's an audiobook reading of Little House in the Big Woods. So this is prior to the Little House on the Prairie in the books, but was never on
That
the
is
TV.
epic. My sister had the collections
I
of
did
those
too. I
and
still
the Prairie
do.
books. Fucking A.
This one, they have it up by several people, but this has got a comforting, like some of them got really annoying music in this. This is by a channel called Relax for a While, and she's got an easy to listen to voice, and it's really nice. She does a great job with it, but I think Shell will like this, and if you guys can't sleep with that, it's a black screen sleep audiobook.
Oh, cool. They got it right. Okay, good. That's cool. She loves to listen to audio stuff, so usually when she's driving, but this maybe not.
I never got into that. I never got into that series, but I heard it was really well written.
I read a few when I was a kid. But my sister had them, something to read. Like I was just a voracious reader, so I probably
Walt reads girl books. Walt reads
dude, I read
girl
Little
books.
Women. What are you talking about?
Babysitter's Club.
Little Women was shit.
God, what was it? It wasn't the. I mean, I read Hardy Boys, but there was another.
Nancy Drew?
No, it was a young boy who solved like
Encyclopedia Brown.
Encyclopedia Brown is who I was thinking.
That was my jam, dude.
That
Like,
might
I
be
couldn't
it.
wait for a new one to come out at the library because I was old enough for them to actually still be coming out at the library for the next one, so I could read it and figure it out before.
The what? The what?
Library. The library. You go library, you get booked.
Library.
For sure. That was my jam as a kid. I'm so fortunate that
Encyclopedia Brown.
taught about libraries.
And he just knew everything. He could
he was the shit.
He read encyclopedias.
Yeah, like they said, he trained the dog to go after the red, and that's why he went after this boy. And this is like, no, because dogs don't see red. So you're lying. That's the one that pops out the most. I remember that story the most.
The one I remember was about the World War I saber. It's how he knew it was faked because it was marked World War I. It wouldn't be World War. It'd be the Great War or something because there was no World War II yet to have made it World War I.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. The Great War.
Which one was that? They're all great. That's Archer.
Oh, that's from Archer?
Yeah. Two communists that are hitmen for Castro down in Miami, talking about how great wars were and how Hugo Boss made the greatest outfits ever. The Nazi uniforms. They dropped so many bombs in that show.
People just didn't even know what they were getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
You gotta
still
be
a
looking
bunch of
for
names I want to.
Encyclopedia Brown books now on eBay. Fucker. I had found a few back in the day when my son was young enough to, appreciate them. He read them. There just weren't any more to go get.
Yeah, I always checked them out of the library.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't.
Exactly.
We didn't buy them or anything. I didn't have those. Those were the library books.
Dude, and the quest I was on as a kid to find him a copy of the frickin' what they call the actual movie. I can't remember what they call the movie. It was Uncle Remus is the book. What they call the movie? Song of the South? Is that what it was?
No, that was
the banned movie that you can't get anywhere anymore.
Fuck, what was it?
Anyway, it was Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox.
Please don't throw me to that briar patch.
Yeah,
Please
the
don't
Briar
throw me to that briar patch.
So I had those books read to me prior to the Disneyizing of them, and then I also had the Disneyized version of the book that had all the cartoon characters. But try to find that for my son 40 years later, or whatever it was, 25, 30 years later. Nah, wasn't happening. I had to dig and dig.
Isn't that the one that had like an actual tar baby where they were like made a baby out of tar?
Out of tar, yeah. I've got it right here.
Yeah.
I just looked around at my shelf to make sure I still had the copy here. I offered him to take it if he wanted to, but it's still here.
Remember The Far Side?
Oh yeah, for sure.
He just put out something new, actually. Or was it him? No, it wasn't. It was Watterson. Never mind.
The Far Side wasn't
Watterson did something new.
Yeah, dude. Go. It's a freaking dark looking graphic novel. I just put it in my Amazon. I'll send you a
the
link.
front door. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's really bizarre. Him and another guy did a collaboration. I haven't seen anything but a few pages like art. I'm like, what am I looking at?
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you see the documentary that the fanboy did? If you look up, I think it's called Searching for Bill Watterson or something like that, right? But this fanboy did a documentary on just Calvin and Hobbes. He couldn't get the interview with Bill Watterson, so he just, just did this expose and interviewed, I think like Seth Green, is that his name? Seth Green and other guys, just people that are in media and whatnot, and how much Calvin and Hobbes, has just impacted their lives. And wow, Bill Watterson is just, that's who you're talking about, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. It's him. Yeah.
Wow.
Those two are so important to me growing up. Him and
Calvin and Hobbes rocked my world, man.
That shit was so good.
Remember Laurel and Hardy?
I was at the right age for it, and it was perfect.
I remember watching Babes in Toyland over and over and over again.
Wait, what am I doing?
Really? Why?
When we first got it. I don't know why. Laurel and Hardy, I don't know what it was about that. Babes in Toyland. Yeah. I enjoyed Monty Python when I got a little bit older, but what was the other one? The Benny Hill. I loved Benny Hill. When I want to hear
I want to hear the rest of the music that you thought you were going to trigger. So like because I didn't get enough of that to figure out
yeah. Just slapping the guy upside the head with the fish.
All of it.
Yeah. Oh, when he smacks the guy in the face with the fish and then does the curly shuffle. Oh my goodness, I lost it the first time I saw that as a child. You know the curly shuffle where you like hop back and one leg up. Yeah. He did that and he's like doing it back and forth, and all of a sudden you don't even see the fish. It's like down by his side. And he just pulls out this big fish and whap right across the side of the face. And my mom still tells the story of how I just lost it the first time I saw that. But yeah, Laurel and Hardy. I don't know why that one. I watched it. I loved it so much.
I never enjoyed them. I just didn't get into them.
Yeah, that's the big round guy and then the real skinny.
No, I know. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it was about that bait.
I was a big Stooge
I made it
fan,
to the Stooges, and I made it to the Abbott and Costello, but I just never was into the Laurel and Hardy. I tried.
Yeah, I was young. Young. I bet if I went back and watched it now, it would ruin all the memories I have of
wasn't there a movie that was done a little while ago with John C. Reilly as one? I don't know which. I can't remember which one's Laurel, which one's Hardy. But John C. Reilly, I think, plays the fat guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I like John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
He just did that one about the Lakers dynasty. He's Gary Buss. Dr. Gary Buss. He says that a lot in the show, but yeah, he did a great job in it, I thought. And Dr. Steve Brule, if you've never seen, check it out with Dr. Steve Brule. It's him doing like a cable access local TV show
I think I know what you're talking about. He wears glasses and his hair is just all wonky.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just this like nut job scientist. Right?
He mispronounces everything. Yeah. Well, he's everything. He's a train conductor, a scientist, because he rode a train, so he knows just as much as the train conductors do. Yeah, that's like in his mind, he's teaching everybody about their professions. It's doing like a Mr. Rogers type thing, but he says everything wrong. Oh, it's hilarious.
So he and Joaquin Phoenix did a Western recently called The Sister Brothers.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, that was a good freaking Western.
Yeah. They were really good in it together. Yeah, he's one of those guys that he can do all kinds of roles, really. Did you ever see the one where he's a grifter?
I think so.
I forget the name of that one, but that's a good one. He was young in that one.
Yeah. He was being trained by another guy, right? He was an apprentice to another grifter, right?
Yeah, and he had his own apprentice too. Yeah, he was like in between.
Yeah, that was a good movie too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like John C. Reilly. I wish it would have done. It was like a child's vampire movie, but that one, what was the name of that one? Cirque du Freak? Something like that. It was about a traveling freak show, and one of the people in the freak show was a vampire that had a trained spider. Something like that, and he was the vampire, and it had the beard. Salma Hayek was the bearded lady. She could shave her beard, and then they would all grow right back in front of your eyes.
I missed that one.
Anything with Salma Hayek, I will watch.
It's weird when she.
I'd have to watch it alone, though.
Yeah, but when she has a big beard, it's not.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I could look past it.
Wasn't she in Frida?
Yeah.
You watched that one alone?
No, I never watched Frida. I never watched that one.
Yeah, you could watch that one with your kids. You'll be all right.
I don't think I've ever seen Frida. Salma Hayek. Yep. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Did you see the Black Mirror episode with her in it?
No, I've never seen Black Mirror.
Dude, that was epic.
Black Mirror is like the new Twilight
telling you guys,
Zone,
you got to go watch it. It's fucking awesome what they've done here. They're telling us all.
Yeah, that you got to watch that one. It's the recent season of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
So okay, look, I'll give you 2 episodes on Black Mirror, Zach. Okay, Black Mirror. I don't know what the one that Salma Hayek is in that it's called, but just simply go to the current season 6, I think it is. And it's like maybe because I haven't made it through the whole season. I lost interest, but like her episode. Oh no, it was called what was it? Jane something, Walt? Like Crazy Jane.
I'm trying to look it up right now.
Mean Jane or something like that. But then the other episode I think is in season 1, and it's called Hang the DJ, which is the name of an 80s new wave song. I can't remember who sang it. I don't know if it was the Smiths or somebody, but anyway, that episode will blow your mind.
Joan is awful.
Joan is awful. Yeah,
dude, you're going to.
Okay, if you watch 2 episodes of Black Mirror, those 2, Hang the DJ and Joan is awful.
Are they real dark? I don't know if Cami will like it if it's like scary.
No, she'll dig the new one.
It's not dark. I mean, it's not scary.
Is it kind of like X-Files?
No. More like a Twilight Zone-y, like
Outer Limits.
Twisty. Outer Limits.
Yeah, yeah,
more
yeah.
like Outer Limits, where there's
I
a
like Outer Limits.
parable quality.
yeah.
There's a message trying to be. I mean, there were in a lot of the Twilight Zones as well, but a lot of the Twilight Zones were either Creature of the Week or, Twist Ending of the Week or whatever. These had some of the Outer Limits more social commentary too. But those were there in Twilight Zone too. Don't get me
My
wrong.
stepdad had told me that Star Trek was like very risque at the time because a lot of the stuff that they would have their shows about was about war and stuff like that was actually going on.
Oh yeah,
during
they
that
had
time.
an episode with
The interracial kiss.
Frank Gershwin, the guy who played the Riddler on the old Batman, where he was a half black, half white guy.
And the short
other race was
outfits.
half black and half white. The different side of their face. Yeah, that fucking shit was genius at the time, dude. At the time, nothing like that was happening on TV.
Yeah, it was very politically motivated. A lot of their episodes, it was about things that were going on, in the world at that time. And the writers were kind of speaking out through, art.
I reckon it's getting to be about that time as we slowly wind down here anyway.
It is. Before we go, Liz, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Okay, this is
maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. And I don't know if you're going to do it, but it will put my son into the giggles. Can you say the word schedule for us?
Schedule.
Say it again.
Schedule.
No, that's not how you say it.
That's
Come
not
on
how you
now.
say it. Say it how you say it.
Y'all leave her alone.
Say it the way the Brits do, or the way that over the pond.
She's never going to come back.
She's not going to come back.
She's not your dancing pony.
Say it the way they taught you in shul.
You mean it's
What do they do? They do schedule.
Did you?
Schedule.
I would say schedule.
Oh, okay.
That's the way I would see it.
Too. I don't think I've ever heard
That's
you
how I
say
said
that.
too.
Schedule.
They were, we had
No,
some Brits on doing schedule, and they were schedule, and a whole bunch of them, they were saying that the Americans said it wrong, and my son got the biggest giggle. I mean, things where they just hit you, they shouldn't, but just to get the different pronunciations, it just hit him. I mean, overall, most of your pronunciations are cooler than ours. I have to say, I like aluminium better than aluminum, and
right, okay.
so it was just he was like, well, why are they? And I was like, no, on several of the videos, I've picked that up. There's a word that's done differently, where they did it with an SH instead of, there's no ska.
Yeah. No, I definitely say schedule.
How many
Okay, so
different
there's-
words do you have for cola or like pop? Just pop in general. Do you have we have soda?
Oh,
Yeah, well, usually we just say how
The name.
lemonade or Coke, or we would actually say the names of.
is there like a local expression of Coca-Cola or soda pop in Scotland?
Well, you just say. Oh, well, I suppose older people would say pop, or
Pop, yeah.
yeah.
That's what we said up north was pop. And then down south, they'd call it soda.
I think that was probably the biggest shock for me, Zach, was when I went to college in Chicago and I heard people talking about pop. And I was like, what the Smurf? What, and what are you saying? That was I think really that was my first culture shock.
Or when everybody just calls it all Coke. Can I get a Coke? Yeah, what kind of Coke do you want?
What
I'll have a
flavor?
Sprite. Like, what the fuck?
That's kind of what it is here where I'm at in the South. Everything's pretty much Coke.
What kind of
Growing
Coke
up,
would
it
you
was,
like?
for sure. Is that a root beer you
I'll
want?
have a
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper.
Give me a root beer Coke.
Zach, do you have to at some swing over to my office and see the map for? Remember that plane that the flight to nowhere? There was a 14-hour flight that took off from San Francisco airport, and then that was when Israel started for Tel Aviv, and Israel started getting rockets shot up. So the plane turned around. but they were going from San Francisco to Tel Aviv, and they turned around over Greenland. Now, I'm looking at the flight map, and it is a severe U to get up there. But it's interesting because if I was going to walk the same distance on Google and do the Google Maps and walk it, I don't go anywhere near Greenland, nowhere. So if I was going to walk across the water as opposed to fly on there, it's such, I guess, being a couple miles up changes
a lot of things.
Changes a lot of things. Because I didn't even quite make it to Delaware as far as north, and we all know that Delaware and Greenland are not that close together on the map. So
No, that's you got Canada in between there.
yeah,
And Jersey.
all kinds of stuff. Oh, yeah. But yeah, San Francisco to Tel Aviv, you look at the walk it, do this, and it makes this lovely little, on maps, it makes this lovely little walk across.
Yeah, Mad Pieman says soft drink here. I've heard that one.
What threw
Yeah,
me was,
Michigan is pop, just like Indiana. But you start getting down to Kentucky area, your Tennessees and everything soda.
Yeah, most of
That was
Missouri.
my culture shock. I think.
Now that I said that, actually, it's not that here where I'm located. Here where I'm located, it's pretty much pop, because I remember when my dad moved to Franklin when I was like 7 or 8 or whatever, and we came here to visit summers, and he was always getting us a pop at Mr. Medrick's store, and I didn't know what he was getting us. I'm like, what? Is that like a soda? I mean, a sucker? A pop? What are you talking about? A popsicle? What are we doing here? And then he would ask us what kind of pop we wanted. I'm like, oh, root beer. That's my Coke. Give me a root beer.
That's my kind of Coke.
yeah,
Iron Brew is the favourite one in Scotland.
Say
What
it
is
again.
it?
Iron Brew.
Oh, I like that.
That's just fits in nicely here.
That's perfect.
I remember the
It's
first time I had
IRN. That's how you spell the Iron Brew.
iron
BRU.
iron brew.
I don't know if it was Dallas or San Antonio, but in the 70s we went down from Colorado, and there it totally threw me because everything was pop shop soda water.
Pop
And so-
shop soda water?
yeah, everything was pop shop, and we didn't have pop shop. I don't know if you guys did that, but that was like the big sodas. There was pop shop, and they had all the flavors of it, and it was pop shop soda water. And all of their sodas, everybody had pop. It was, I mean, Coke. It was the 70s or whatever. I just thought I was in a whole
I had seen a
different world.
couple of those when I was real young in it's like South, it's called Coal City. They had the dollar candy there, or not dollar, the penny candy, I'm sorry. And then they had like the
Well, in today's
soda.
inflation,
Yeah, and then they had the soda shop like that was connected to it and all that, and all the different. They had the penny candy area. Then there was the nickel and dime, and yeah, they had the soda fountain there, and it was pretty much soda water. And then they had like jars of the syrup that you could see all the different colors right above it. Isn't that wild when you can just see stuff like places you've been and
Yeah.
it just pops out?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just
well,
like Mr. Bill's store down the hill from my grandpa's parsonage, where I'd go down there with a quarter and get like, a big yellow banana flavored cigar, R3. I'd get like the big, huge pixie stick that was just pure sugar rush for a kid, and get me the taco Doritos and a root beer. And I'd come back with like 20 cents of change. Like, how did that happen?
well, when you came on the show, or like when you turned your camera on, not when you came on, but when you turned your camera on, and I don't know if you remember, you had the cat. We had the perfect view of the
Uh-huh.
cat's bottom.
Okay. Uh-huh. Oh,
And-
yeah, that,
and what you
unfortunately,
struck to
that's
me-
all too often the view you guys get of the cats. Sorry.
Okay, the memory it struck was priceless, and it took me back in time. As a little girl, my dad had a very, very, very warped sense of humor, and he had 5 kids. And so hearing like, where are we going or whatever, and getting people there, a lot of the times he wouldn't tell us where we were going until after we got there, so we didn't have to hear about complaints and stuff like that. So his canned answer was Kitty Patawagan. And we were like, what does that mean? Or what? And he had told us like later on, it meant under a cat's tail. And now, so I was Googling because it flashed me back. This is like the late
That's
60s, early 70s memory. And of course, you couldn't look up Kitty Pitawagan, but it's like, I can Google Kitty Pitawagan and see if I couldn't find it as a real word. So while this was on with the cat, I was putting in all the different spellings of Kitty Pitawagan to see if it came up with under a cat's tail. That's how bad my mind is right now, and what you did to me with that. Like I was like, oh, look, it's under the cat's tail. It's Kitty Pitawagan. If anybody else has heard Kitty Pitawagan, I have a feeling my dad made up the word, and it went. This is the same man that took us out hunting for mushrooms and told us if we made any noises in the forest, we'd scare the mushrooms back in the ground. And he had 5 silent children, Polish children, mind you, but by the time we figured it out, we enjoyed our forest walks and mushroom hunting so much that there was something so special about us together and not making a lot of noise that some of my most precious memories. So,
Did you find any truffles?
we were looking for morels. The
They
ones that
used to
look like
take us
sponges.
snipe hunting on multiple occasions. I got tricked into snipe hunting. Never found one.
The level of intelligence that you have right now makes it hard to believe that you would ever be that gullible.
Well, 5, 6, 7.
The only time I got caught like that was my first day on the rig, and I was sent to go find the V-door key. And if you don't know about rigs or what a V-door is, it's just a big ramp where pipe is laid down that you pull up into the derrick. It's not actually a door, and there certainly isn't a fucking key for it.
You were looking for that key, though,
But
weren't
I
you?
had to go ask everybody on the fucking location and get mine.
Everybody laughed.
So, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that ain't too bad of hazing. You got to be super careful out there on the rig.
Right, exactly.
dangerous
you
enough.
Make sure anything they tell you, you do it. You listen.
Yeah.
You get the key. Okay, I need to get the key.
I'll
'cause
go
fuck, I
get
don't want to
that
die out
key.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard too many mangled stories here, so I'm going to find that key, make sure we have it ready to go. Whatever, assholes.
Oh, that's good stuff.
At least I was. Well, we don't need to get into that. Let's just say this: before I got out on the rigs, the initiation was what they call pipe dope, which is essentially like just a big 5-gallon bucket of this thick ass grease they use to put on the joints of pipe that both lubricates and seals. And just imagine big goops of that put down your pants. And so have to get that off for the next 5 hours in the shower. So I missed that era, thank God. But my cousin, who was just a few years older than me, he definitely got his.
Yeah, every trade has their hazing rituals.
Absolutely.
It's all part of becoming, one of the gang.
What was the other one they did? See, these are so terrible. I can't say them on the air.
Yeah, I'm not repeating any of the ironworker ones.
Second day was they had him get a sledgehammer, 20-pound sledge. Follow me, boy. And took him off the location out into the woods. Probably said we had to walk a good half mile, quarter mile, 3/4 mile. He finally stopped. He said, "All right." As he started undoing his cover, I said, "I'm about to shit a bear. When I do, I want you to knock it some bitch in the head for me."
Just carrying a 20-pound sledge.
Right, just carrying his sledge.
If you
Aren't
don't know,
those
that's
sledgehammers just like 8 pounds?
No, it was a big daddy hammer.
8's a big one.
Yeah, I'm saying
5
that's what
is
I'm
your
saying.
average sledgehammer. Is
Yeah,
about,
a 20-pound sledge.
yeah, that's a big. Well,
That's
yeah,
huge.
you're hitting some big stuff out there when you got bolts and stuff, and that are bigger than your head, and the nuts that go on there, and yeah, even at the bucket factory, those machines were no joke. We had wrenches that were like, you would think it was a joke wrench. Except nobody would waste that much steel. it would. I mean, if a joke one would be plastic, but wrenches that are like, you know, longer than my leg, with huge fittings on them, just crazy, you know, 6-inch openings.
What's the metric size? What was it?
I don't even know. Just enormous. There was like a row of them because, you know, you're dealing with lots of pressure and these big, huge. They're maybe like 500 pounds, I think, the molds, but they're moving like real fast, you know. And a lot of the rods were about 4 inches around that you would slide on, and then they'd have these huge bolts or nuts that went on the end of those. So you needed really big wrenches when you were working with those giant nuts like that. And yeah, they'd have them hanging up in the maintenance. Yeah, things that you don't see at hardware stores and stuff like that. But yeah, just huge, huge. And that's small compared to the stuff Walter was probably working with. I couldn't even imagine out there on those oil rigs.
Oh, yeah.
I just found out that a cousin of mine, he's like in his late 60s now, maybe, late 60s. So, you know, a lot of my footage that I've shot in California are on the oil rigs off of the Channel Islands. He used to work on one of those rigs, and I never knew that. I'd go water skiing with him as a kid and grew up, you know, knowing him as my cousin. And then I found him on Facebook last year or whatever, and just have seen him posting different things. And he came across this T-shirt in a thrift store of one of the platforms, and he put it on. He's like, "This is the platform I used to work on." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I have so much footage of that platform."
Small world, isn't it?
But I wouldn't want to paint it.
No. Yeah, there's.
So are we off the air? Because Josh said that we were going to go off the air a while ago.
Oh no, we're still
talking.
We're still going. Y'all still kept going. We just
4 more hours, man.
Let it run.
All right, we're going all night, Dan. God dog it. Let's go. Let's get off here, man. I'm tired. You're tired. Everybody's tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is that time.
And hey, is anybody even in the chat? Anybody going to be able to see the eclipse tomorrow?
I mean, I'm going to see what I can see of it here. I'm not going to.
I heard that there's only 8 states that are going to be able to see it, and they're all in the west.
No, even. I mean, it's going to be like 45% here. It's only 8 states that are going to see the total.
The total. Okay.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be cloudy here tomorrow, so I don't know.
Right, that's what I think I have too. When I look, Travis, it's some overcast day tomorrow. If I'm maybe I look right. Is that
it looked like the whole U.S. had at least like 10% blockage.
Oh, okay.
And then it gets, you know.
So, in my opinion, the reality of parallax for me doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that I would only have, let's just say 10%, and then California is going to have total, or whatever, Nevada is going to have total, because you're talking about something that's hundreds of thousands of
miles away, and
that doesn't make any sense.
38, whatever, thousand. Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Even to me as a kid, I kept thinking, well, why wouldn't this be something that everybody would see when they would say that, you know, this year we're going to see it, but next year we won't be able to see it, or the next one we won't see it. And I'm like, well, it's the sun. I see it everywhere, and everybody else sees it everywhere. So why wouldn't you see the eclipse of it everywhere? If all that's happening over there in the sky, up there in the sky, whatever. So, yeah. Let alone now that I'm trying to figure it out. It doesn't make sense. Especially the size of the shadow. Anyway. But yeah, good luck tomorrow if you are seeing it. And if you are and you have your channel kicking, then hopefully.
Yeah, anybody out there who's listening to our sultry voices, if you can, get some footage of that.
Yeah, definitely.
I got a nice. Yesterday, I start Uber about 4 a.m, and I was finally in a spot where I had time. And the very last vestiges, this was yesterday, so I didn't see the moon this morning, but just last night, just this last little thumbnail sliver, and I got some photographs and I took a video of it. I haven't looked back on it, but it looked really good, so I'm going to put that up pretty soon. I mean, it's nothing, drastically dynamic, but it was still beautiful.
Cool. Very cool.
All right, this has been especially the fun. Thanks again, Liz. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was fun again. Was Dawn in the chat? No, she wasn't in the chat tonight, was she? I'm wondering how her interview went.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't. If she was, I didn't see her say hey, so I never said hey back to her.
Oh, I hope she got on well.
Which leads me to believe she, wasn't in chat. So, but I'm almost. I mean, there was so much positivity for her this morning, and her energy was so positive. I'm almost certain.
Yeah.
It all went well for her.
She deserves it.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, then. Guess it's that time.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Travis.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you
Thanks,
both.
guys.
Thank you.
And Liz, maybe one of these times when we know, like, you come on there, we can do it, because I know you wanted to do blood types and do some different, like, either rocks or that. So if you do topic, I'd love to do topic with you sometime, Liz.
That all up
Yeah.
our topic in chat that we were discussing about little boogers in the night. So yeah, we definitely need to get on all that at some point in time. I think they're all connected.
Because films and books, I can't remember even what I watched last night.
Yeah, we're sick. We got way too much trivial crap in our heads. Sorry.
It's interesting to hear it though.
And I will definitely be going down this rabbit hole, Bill. Well, thank you for that link of Mr. Gary Wayne's research.
Sweet. I think about time for me to go to bed.
Yep. Good night.
Yep,
See a
yep,
lot
yep.
of you guys next week, where I'll be in Las Vegas with Zack.
That's right. You guys won't be here for next Friday's show.
We will
may
not be here for next Friday's show.
We may just skip it completely.
Viva.
Will you be doing any live streaming?
Maybe.
Somebody will. Someone will.
Yeah, I hope so.
Live stream bomb.
Go ahead.
No, I just said live stream bomb. Just bomb somebody's live stream.
Right on. Well, I was going to tell Zack and Cami, you guys are definitely not requested nor required in any way. For sure, I know your hands will be quite filled. So you guys have a blast. And if you have time to just say hey to us, with a text or whatever of what's going on, that would be awesome. You definitely don't have to set aside time to come on here on a Friday and the madness of it all getting started. That would be goodness. But yeah, definitely that sounds like a plan, Josh. Is just check that day off so that I could watch any streaming that might be happening.
Mm-hmm. And let everybody else do the same.
Yeah. Cool deal.
All righty.
All right, then.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, Travis.
Oh, that's kind of loud.
Love y'all.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Thank you, Cami. Zach?
Love you too. Good night, everyone.
Okay.
Night, John boy.
Good night.
Good night, Liz. And good night to chat. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us.
Man, if I didn't say hey to y'all, it's not that I didn't see you. I just, had too many cats in my lap over the whole show, it seemed like. At some point, I just gave up typing.
Otherwise, we'll see you guys back here next week for more Have No Fear right here on the Iron Roll Media YouTube channel. Until then, you guys be good, be well. We love you. Bye-bye.